All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We're going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash.
And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. All right, these are your fellow servants from the GMS Orlando camp. All right, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua another week. All right, to prophesy the downfall of America, which is Babylon the Great. All right, and to also preach to you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians to tell you that you're the Israelites according to the Bible. All right, and to repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right, I want to start off with Sirach or Ecclesiastes 36 at the top, but I also want to get Romans 13 and 11.
Ecclesiastes 36 and 1?
Yes, sir. And let's hit Romans 13 and 11 first, and then we hit that.
It's Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Right, and the time is short. All right, our salvation is nearer than when we believe. All right, the prophecies that we read about on a daily and weekly basis are now starting to come to pass. All right, and now they're starting to come to pass on a more frequent basis, going to show us what? That the Lord is getting ready to make his second return. All right, I was just watching a video earlier today from the elder Amawan Gabar, all right, with his daughter, his 4-year-old daughter prophesied of Yahushua's return. All right, said he's coming. In the dream said he's coming. He's coming. All right, and the Lord is coming. And we can see that through the prophecies that's playing out on across the four corners of the globe. All right, the Lord is getting ready to make his second return. Our salvation is nearer than when we believe. All right, the MOTB is nearer than when we believe. All right, you had that video from Redacted that the elder apostle did. That was going into how the government is starting to implement these chips over there in Sweden, all right, and even here in the U.S. You have a lot of people behind the scenes, all right, who have been requesting the MOTB.
Yeah, they requesting.
Right, they're requesting it for the fact of convenience. You know, being able to store your medical records and so on and so forth on that chip. All right, it's all because of this convenience that these elites are pushing. All right, and behind the scenes, people are pushing for this thing, man. And pretty soon it's going to come from behind the scenes to the forefront. All right, and it's going to be what, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, the elders and apostles on down have been saying it is, man. You know, famine is closer than when we believe. Persecution is closer than when we believe. All right, all the prophecies that we read about on a daily basis are closer than when we believe. You know, so the time is short. All right, you got it.
I got one. It's Joel 2 and 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions.
And it's beautiful, man, because that vision that the elder's daughter had is very true, and we can see it manifesting within the earth. All right, it's a very beautiful video. You should go and watch it. All right, his channel is GMS Awakening 144. All right, and he goes into how his daughter had this vision. You know, she prophesied of Yahushua's return. You know, and she even saw Yahushua. You know, and said that's him, and he said he's coming. He's coming. You know, and the Lord has been telling us personally that he's coming through the way of the prophecies, man. It's a very beautiful thing, man. You know, and the Lord is starting to pour out his spirit upon all flesh, and now all peoples are starting to see, you know, the manifestation of the kingdom of heaven. Starting with the men that are raising up around the four corners of the globe on the highways and byways, preaching his word, all right, in his name, in his Father's name, all right, preaching the correct doctrine, preaching the 100% truth according to the Bible, all right. Yahushua's return is able to be seen right now. This is the beginning of Yahushua's return. It starts on the streets, and then it's going to manifest when the Lord cracks those clouds, and that's sooner than when we believe. The Lord is right around the corner, man, and that's why these demons have been ramping up, and within our personal walks, that's why our personal walks have been getting harder. It's because Yahushua is getting ready to return, all right, and that proving process is getting even more straining. The Lord is proving us, man, you know, because we're gonna have to be fine vessels in that day. We're gonna have to be vessels of faith, vessels of honor, vessels of integrity in a time of tribulation. And that's why tribulation is increasing. That's why hell is increasing, because the Lord is refining us. Even he's getting us even pure right now. He's purging us of our imperfections. You understand? But
That's Rock 36.
yeah, you got it.
It's Ecclesiastes 36 and 1. Have mercy upon us, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, power of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all thy nations, and send fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee.
Right, and all these nations are getting ready to know the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and our nation as well, because the majority of our nation don't know the Lord. You know, but for all these nations who have not known the Lord personally and how he gets down with judgment, they getting ready to know, man. They're getting ready to know the Lord how we've known the Lord, through straight judgment, man. That's how they're getting ready to know Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. That's why it says in Jeremiah the 16th chapter, all right, that it shall no longer be said, the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. Because this deliverance is going to trump the deliverance from Egypt. You know, this deliverance, they are going to actually see Yahushua. They're going to actually see the heavenly host. Right. And they're going to feel the power of Yahushua and the power of the heavenly host. Right. That's why this deliverance is going to trump the one of ancient Egypt, man. Which today, America is modern day Egypt, you know. But you got to say,
and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations and let them see thy power. As thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us.
Right.
And let them know thee, as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O power.
Right, and the Lord is getting ready to establish his name in the earth once again. All right, there is no other God outside of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. You know, but through Esau's, you know, his wickedness, his delusions, you know, his power, he's been able to trick the world into thinking that there's many gods or that there is no God.
Right.
But pretty soon, everybody's going to feel and see the true God, which is Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, man. That's the time we're coming into, and that time is approaching us very soon, man. Right. All right, it's not too much longer that brothers are going to be saying, prophesying of the Lord's return before it actually happens. It's not too much longer that brothers are going to be prophesying of the famine, the MOTB, all right, World War III before it actually happens. Shit, just last year, brothers was prophesying about pestilence. 2 years ago, brothers was prophesying about pestilence, and they ain't stopped yet.
Yeah, right.
Just a couple of years ago, the elders and apostles were preaching about the MOTB, and guess what? We see it right in front of our face. Right. So we know that the scriptures are true, and the Lord works in a measure of time. And we know that measure of time is shortening. That window of grace, that window of mercy is shortening. And the Lord is no longer prolonging his words, man.
You got it. That's about to how coin this year. Hey, it's the year Yahweh Shema Shah turning up, man.
Oh yeah.
Things been turning up, man. Everything has been turned up, man. It say Ecclesiastes 36:6, show new signs and make other strange wonders, glorify thy hand and thy right arm.
Right. And the Lord is starting to show new signs and new wonders. All right, this whole jungle pox ordeal, all right, the MOTB is a new wonder in itself. You know, the Lord is starting to show new wonders, new signs. All right, that only the hopefully elect are privy of. Because if you're not delving into these scriptures, if you're not occupied in prophecy, you won't know what the new signs are. You won't know what the new wonders are. The Lord is showing us a wonder by raising us up here in these latter days, man. This is a new wonder. Right. And the Lord is glorifying his right hand through his men. All right, his right hand being Yahushua. All right, Yahushua is being glorified right now through his men. All right, these righteous sacrifices, all right, these righteous oblations that we've been making to the Heavenly Father, through making our bodies a living sacrifice, through preaching his word, through feeding the sheep. All right, this is how the right hand of the Lord is being glorified here in these latter days, man. And he's going to continue to be glorified until he returns. And when he returns, those who have been glorifying him, all right, in these times of tribulation are going to receive glory. Lord willing, we're that number.
It say, show new signs and make other strange wonders, glorify thy hand and thy right arm, which is Yahushua, that they may see, that they may set forth thy wondrous works, raise up indignation and pour out wrath, take away the adversary and destroy the enemy.
Right, and the adversary and the enemy is chiefly Esau Edom. All right, chiefly the elites of Esau Edom on this side, man. And the Lord is getting ready to take away our adversaries, man. All right, take away the enemy that has been to the whole earth. The enemies of the Lord, man. Yeah, the enemy, the Lord has enemies. And you Israelites have enemies too. That's the elephant in the room, but it's true. And the chiefest enemy of the Lord and to you Israelites, man, has been the so-called white man. Without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. That's the chiefest enemy on the planet Earth, and he's getting ready to be taken away, man. We see his kingdom being taken away right before our eyes right now. His dollar's crashing. His economy is failing. The housing market is dropping. The morale of the people is dropping. The mental capacity of the people is very low. The spirits of the people are very low. Wickedness is at an all-time high. Corruption is at an all-time high. Chaos is running rampant throughout the earth. His kingdom is falling right before our eyes. The adversary is being taken away right now. And pretty soon, his whole dominion is getting ready to be taken away. It's only a matter of time at this point. It's not a matter of if. All right, it's not a matter of how. or if, it's a matter of when. These nations are starting to come up against them, just as the scriptures prophesied. All right, the whore is being hated in the eyes of all these other nations. Now these other nations are starting to circumvent and go around the dollar. His kingdom is falling, man. The only ones who cannot see this are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, and the rest of these people. You know, the rest of these fool-hearted people.
What they call useless eaters.
Yeah, these useless eaters, man. They can't see it. They're just worried about the next 2K. They're worried about the next TV show, the next Game of Thrones. That's what they worried about. How they gonna fill their belly? What hole they gonna fuck next? They ain't worried about the Lord. They ain't worried about prophecy. Which is ultimately it's gonna catch them like a brick, man. Because the Lord gonna come like a brick.
Yeah.
He gonna come so swiftly. What does it say? The Lord gonna come as a thief in the night.
Man.
When a thief come in the night, what do? He come. Do you know he coming?
No.
Hell no. You would have prepared the house. You would have got the firearm or something. You would have got the stick.
Right.
But he came in. He came when he knew you was at work, or he knew you was sleeping. He came in. That's how the Lord gonna come in for the majority of the people on the earth. He gonna come in when nobody looking for him. And ain't nobody looking for the Lord. The brother always say this. You go into Walmart. Out of all the people in the Walmart, probably only you, and maybe another person's thinking about the Lord.
Yeah.
Everybody else is in there thinking about folly, man.
They say, this Ecclesiastes 36 in verse 8, sake the time short, remember the covenant, and let them declare that one of his works.
Right. It's like,
Go ahead.
sake the time short.
Yeah.
All right, the time is short, and yeah, we say this every week. Yeah, we do go into this every week. All right, but it's a reality. The time is short, man.
Teaching the Father's skill.
Right. It's a reason why brothers are more and more fruit is starting to pop up. It's a reason why this wasn't happening 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, the Lord wasn't as close as he is now.
Right.
But now the Lord is close. And that's why brothers have been speaking on a more frequent basis. That's why brothers have been popping up around the four corners of the globe. You think this is a coincidence? Hell no. The Lord don't move on coincidence, man.
That's that sense of fear in the air, man.
Right.
You can smell it.
You can feel it. You can smell it. Because the Lord, it's something in your spirit that lets you know when you woke up, damn, the Lord close. That's why you were moved to come out in the highways and byways. That's why you were moved to study. Because your spirit was telling you, man, the Lord close. And he is close. That's why you should take the time short. And in taking the time short, it's time to prepare. You know, it's time to prepare mentally and spiritually. Because the brunt of our battle is going to be a mental and spiritual battle. Staying firm and staying integral in the Lord.
This is our verse 9. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people.
Right, because you got those of the elites who are going to escape. You know, who are going to go out on these fighter jets, who are going to bunkers, they're going to go in the underground. $1 million submarines, they're going to go underground, they're going to try to fly up into space.
They got their private headquarters, they stash houses in those mountains.
But the fire is going to consume them ultimately. Because although they get away for that short period of time, they're going to be the ones who are put in the fetters of iron, like it says in Psalms 147. Right. Those are going to be one of the first to be put in slavery. The elites of Esau, Edom, the elites of the so-called Caucasian race. They're going to be some of the first to go into captivity. So the Lord going to allow them to escape, but eventually that fire going to consume them. Right. All right, them chains going to encompass around about their neck and their back and their legs, just like they did us, man.
Say, verse 10, smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we.
Ooh, and right now the heads of the heathen are being cut by this word.
Yep.
The scriptures liken this word into a two-edged sword, a double-edged sword. All right, and the heads of these heathens, the heads of these elites are being cut and sundered by the truth, man. Because their whole empire, their whole legacy has been established by lies. They've lied about who we are. They lied about who they are. They lied about how they got here. They lied about who was here when they got here. They lied about their heritage. They lied about how they accumulated their wealth. They lied about history. They lied about who the other nations are. They lie about everything, man. The scriptures say in Job 13 that they're forgers of lies and physicians of no value, man.
Hey, Salaki, Elder not to talk about, say you lied about the lies that you lied about.
Right. It's lies on top of lies, man, when it comes to this devil, man. But the Lord is smiting and sunder their head right now. All right, the heads of the heathen, they chiefest enterprise, they chiefest counsel, their deepest and darkest counsel is being cut off right now by the words of truth. Now it's come out on who we are. Now it's came out on who the Lord is, who he truly is, what his name is, what his son's name is. And that's power alone in itself.
Right.
Now it's come out on who they are. And we know they are the wicked. They are the devil according to the Bible, man. And we don't just say the so-called white man is the devil for no reason, just because we angry black men. Hell no. Look at his track record, man. Who has polluted the earth, man? Who has polluted the air? Why the fuck is there chemtrails and smoke clogging the airs of the globe? Why? It shouldn't be so. Why is the water polluted? Why do you have animals beaching themselves? That makes no sense. Why do you have GMO foods? Why didn't they let the land rest? Why do you have children 8 years old trying to change their sex? That makes no sense. Why do you have an alphabet community? That is wicked. This is why we call the so-called white man the devil. Because what he's done, what he's promoted around the four corners of the globe is pure wickedness, man. And he needs to be cut off.
Hey, it's only one nation of people that's destroying the earth, man. Only one nation. Verse 11 is the last verse. It says, gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thy them as from the beginning.
Right, and this is the gathering. Brothers. This is gathering. Brothers, it's gathering. The Lord is gathering his people together right now. Through the way of the unicorn. You know, you brothers on the internet, you brothers on the comment board are being gathered right now. You listening to the lesson. You listen to other brothers' lesson. That's a gathering. Some brothers come out in the highways and byways, which if you're an able-bodied man in the nation of Israel, you need to be out in the highways and byways, first and foremost. But that's the gathering in itself. Some brothers come out in the highways and byways, they gather, you know. Some brothers fellowship. The Lord is gathering his men, all right? And in this gathering, we are being sharpened. We are being refined. We are being reproved, which is necessary, man. It's necessary to be around other sharp brothers. It's necessary to be around other brothers of like minds. Because if you're not around other brothers with like minds, eventually your enterprise is weakened. Your resolve is weakened. You begin to get in that weak spirit, like, oh, well, I'm the only one, and it's maybe this ain't really it. But when you surround yourself around like-minded brothers, man, and brothers with higher spirits than yours, it strengthens your resolve. It strengthens your purpose. That's why the Lord told us to gather, man. You know, what is that? Zephaniah 3? 3 and 1?
What is it?
Gather together, or gather
2 and 6.
2 and 6.
Nation not desired. Nation not desired.
Did you, one of y'all brothers gather?
Says, nation not desired.
Right.
Y'all would call that.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1.
Yeah.
Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Right, and the nation not desired are you so-called Negroes, you so-called Latinos, and you so-called Native American Indians. All right, the Lord told us to gather ourselves, man. All right, gather ourselves together, O nation not desired. Why? All right, because we need to be around ourselves. We need to be around like-minded men. We need to be around men of the same purpose, men of the same mission, in order for us to be refined and reproved and strengthened in these latter days, man. It's important. The body is important. You know, you don't realize how important the body is until you can't use a part of it, man. But any brothers have something?
I got one for y'all. This is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 23. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised.
Right, and this is our profession. All right, at the end of the day, this is our work. This is our manner of life. All right, this is our purpose. All right, to trust and to have faith and to do the work of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And we are to hold fast to this profession. All right, just like you see Jay-Z, LeBron James, you know, these different entertainers hold fast to their profession. How much more this? Because this is the profession that's going to withstand the test of time.
Right.
This is the profession that's going to enter into the next world. The faith of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. So we are to hold fast to this, man. Especially in these latter days, man. Because guess what? The demons is going to increase. They increase. The hell is increasing. But that's only because of Yahushai's close return, man. That's only because Yahushai is closer than he's ever been. Therefore, we need to be as strong as we've ever been. We need to be as faithful as we've ever been. Right. So, in holding fast to our profession, it's going to be gritty, but it's possible, man. It's possible. It's able to be done. Yahushai did it. The disciples did it. And through the Spirit, Lord willing, we're that number, we'll be able to do it too. You got it?
And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works.
Right. And these good works are what? Making your body a living sacrifice, like it says in Romans the 12th chapter, all right, in the second verse, the first verse, all right? Making our bodies a living sacrifice, all right? Rehearsing the righteous acts, pursuing the Judges 5 and 11, all right? Repenting in sincerity and in truth, all right? These are the good works that the Lord taught us, all right, through way of our elders and apostles, a great millstone on down. All right, the good works that were seen in the disciples, the good works that were seen in Yahweh Shai. All right, these are the works that we must practice. And I say must because it is a must. It's not a might. We can't falter on these things, man. It's a must to practice these good works, because if we don't, the good works they'll flow out of us, man.
Right. Verse 25, not forsaking the assembling of yourselves, Salakia, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
Right. And the reason why it's so important for us to not forsake the assembly is because essentially what's happening through the Spirit, each and every time brothers congregate, each and every time brothers are gathered, whether it be on the comment board, whether it be in person, it's a gathering of kings that's happening. It's a council that's happening through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And what happens when kings get together? They bounce ideas off each other. They bounce experiences off each other. And each king is builded up. Each king is prepped in a sense. You know? And that's exactly what happens through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai each and every time we gather together. You know, right now, you know, we're being sharpened. You know, brothers are putting comments on the comment board. Some precepts brothers have never read before. You know, brothers are bringing out precepts, some that brothers needed to hear. You know, there was in the time that they really needed to hear it. And that's us being exhorted. That's us being builded. That's us being sharpened. That's us being tried and reproved and refined. And that's why it's important not to forsake the gathering of the truth. You know, the gathering of the brethren. Because that's what happens. It's a council. You know, it's a reproving session. It's a sparring of kings. You know.
Hey, you remember the precept a couple weeks ago about the man with the same mind? You couldn't find it. But
that's the Spirit. Why do you have
hey,
outside?
Ecclesiastes 37:12 it reads, but be continual with a godly man who thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
Right. It says be continually with a godly man. Why is this important? You know, you got to ask yourself why. Why must we surround ourselves with godly men? There's an old saying that goes in the world. It's like, you are who your closest 5 friends are. You know, you are who you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with a bunch of niggas, 10 times out of 10 you're a nigga. But if you surround yourself around spiritual men, men of a purpose, men of a calling, you know, men who desire their power, who desire the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, they flock together. If you don't have the same spirit, you won't mix. And that's why we must continually be around godly men, because we're sharpened in a sense.
Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 6, verse 36. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear out the steps of his door.
Right. If you see a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and wear out the footsteps of his door. And through the Spirit, we've been wearing out the footsteps of our elders and apostles, man, because we perceive them to be men of understanding. All right? And we wear out their footsteps on the comment board. Whenever we see them, we ask questions. Hey, look, what can we improve on? You know, what is your mind been on? You know, how do you perceive, you know, the times? You know? And we constantly wear out the footsteps of our elders and our apostles, man, because we perceive them to be men of understanding. Yeah. And by doing so, we're sharpened.
They wouldn't even have no steps. They'll be wore out.
Wore out. Just like what would happen during the time in ancient Israel. We'll wear out the steps of our elders, because the elders were at that time were men of understanding, men of experience. You know, and to have that type of experience back in the ancient world was very valuable. You know, to be able to understand the workings and the workings in the mind of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the workings and the inner workings of war, the workings and the inner workings of relationships, and the inner workings of nations. That was a valuable information. You know, that's why we wore out the footsteps of our elders, and that's why we wear out the footsteps of our elders today. And that's why we constantly desire to be around them, because by being around them, we're sharpened. By being around them, we're exhorted. By being around them, we're strengthened. You know, when you're around a godly man, when your flesh get the better of you, the godly man is there to with his spirit, you know, to bring that flesh down, man. To tell you, hey, look, man, your flesh getting out of control. You know, temper that. You know, he able to reprove you. He able to exhort you. to rebuke you in a sense.
It's Sirach 27:9. The birds will resort unto their light, so will truth return unto them that practice in her.
Right, and it's the reason why brothers are flocking onto the camps. It's the reason why brothers are flocking onto the truth. You know, because birds of a feather flock together, man.
Right.
And if it ain't in you, you ain't gonna flock to this truth, man. You ain't gonna flock to the brothers. Because that same spirit ain't in you, man. You gonna flock to the niggas. You gonna flock to the bitches. You gonna flock to the goons and the goblins, because that's where your spirit is truly at. You gonna flock to the ways and the philosophies of this world, because that's where your spirit is at. But through the spirit, man, the reason why we flock here, the reason why we flock to our elders and apostles, the reason why we flock to the brothers and to the highways and byways is because our spirit resides here, man.
Right. The Lord called it Jeremiah 12:9. He said, what? His heritage is to him as a speckled bird. This is another one. Ecclesiastes 13 and verse 15. Every beast loveth his life, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Right.
All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his life.
Hey, and that's a beautiful precept going into the Israelite foreigners as well, man. Going to show you, man, that the reason why you have brothers who look like so-called white men or who look like so-called other nations and they come and flock unto this truth is because 9 times, 10 times out of 10, they're Israelites, man. Right. You know? Right. You got brothers in Germany right now, Holland right now, that look like a so-called white man, but their spirit is Jake, man, all day. And hey, like it said, all flesh will resort to his kind. Right. It's the reason why lions hang out with lions. It's the reason why sheep hang out with sheep.
I'm gonna go into that.
Oh,
you say, verse 17, what fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
Right. What is a wolf gonna do with a lamb? He gonna eat his ass, man. He ain't gonna fellowship with him. He gonna deceive him ultimately. Shalom. What fellowship has a wolf with a lamb, man? Right. What they gonna do together? You got it.
It say, what fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly? What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so is the rich eat up the poor.
Right. So shalom. Hey, everybody resorts into their life, you know, and that's why through the spirit, your spirit has been drawn, all right, into the truth. That's why your spirit has been drawn into the elders and apostles, a great millstone, you know, and the brothers with like-minded doctrine, because your spirit resonates with this word. Your spirit resonates with the truth. All right, and 10 times out of 10, that means you're an Israelite. That means you're a prince of the power. You got it?
I got one right here real quick.
You got what I'm on?
Go ahead.
It's Philippians chapter 3, verse 16. Nevertheless, whereto we have already obtained, let us walk by the same rule.
Yep.
Let us mind the same thing.
Right.
Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as he have us for an example.
You can read that first part again, Baba Shah.
Come. This is Philippians chapter 3 and 16. Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule.
Right, and we've attained what? All right, instruction. All right, the order. All right, of the government that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has set up in the earth right now. All right, and by it we are to walk by the same rule. All right, we are to walk in the same mind. We are to continue, all right, in the labor, all right, that we've entered into. Yeah.
Come. Let us mind the same thing. Oh, Salaki, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go back to 16. Philippians chapter 16, Salaki. Philippians chapter 3 and 16. Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule. Let us mind the same thing. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk, so as ye have us for an example. For many walk, of whom I have told ye often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Hamashiach, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for our Savior, the Lord, Yahushua Hamashiach.
Right, and through the Spirit, that's why we mark those men who are preaching contrary doctrine, all right, contrary doctrine to the 100% truth, all right, because their God is their belly, and their end is going to be their destruction. through the Spirit, we warn you, brethren, we warn the sheep about these men, you know, about these heresies, about these improper doctrines. Because these improper doctrines are going to lead you to destruction, man. We are to walk with the same like mind and the same rule that Yahweh Shai has been establishing in the earth. The government that the Lord has been establishing in the earth. Because contrary to popular belief, there is a government that the Lord is setting up in the earth. And when you go into that word government, it means control mind. All right, govern, control, mind, mint. All right, mint, mind. All right, and there's a certain mindset, all right, that we are being trained in through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai that must be followed. All right, that must be cleaved unto, so to speak. All right, and that is coming. That mindset, all right, has been established through our elders and apostles, of Great Millstone on down, and men with like-minded doctrine.
There's 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 22. Whereas in Adam all died, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order. Hamashiach, the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Hamashiachs, that is coming.
And this is the order of the government that the Lord is setting up. All right, as we've been awakened, there's an office that we've been preordained, predestined to take. And that office isn't the head. All right, that office isn't going to be the chief. The chief has already been set up through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But there is other offices that must be occupied because a government can't run just off the chief. A government is ran through the chief, through the officers, through the judges, all right, through the common folk. A government is ran through the whole nation, man. And as we awake, as we are rejuvenated through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we are to partake in our respective office. And that office is huge, man. No matter what your office is. You know, there's a parable. I believe it's in 1 Corinthians, going into the body, and how each part of the body has its strengths.
1 Corinthians 12 and 12.
Come on, so one of your brothers grab that Bible shot. Going into the body, and how each part of the body has its own respective lot. You know, each part of the body is equally important. Because without your toe, you can't balance, man. Without a piece of your toe, you can't balance. Although the toe may be looked at as a lower part of the body. Without your finger, you don't realize how important your finger is until you can't use it. Or how important your nose is, or how important your elbow is until you can't use it. Each part of the body is equally important in the functioning of a body, man.
1 Corinthians 12 and 12. But as the body is one and hath many members, and all the members of that one body being many are one body.
Right. A government has many members. A government has many offices. All right. But each of those members has a certain lot or a certain office to partake in order for that body, in order for that government to thrive. You know. Got it.
So also is Hamashiach. For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing?
Right. If we were all the heads, who would be the who? What's that saying in the world? There's too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
That's
man.
right.
If everybody was a chief, who would be the Indian? You know, if everybody was seeking to be a judge, who would be the officer? You know, there's a need for each and every part of the body, man. Each and every part of the body has its respective lot, and is an equally important, man. You got it.
Is it therefore not of the body? Verse 17. If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now hath the Most High set the members, every one of them in the body, as it hath pleased him.
Right.
And if there were all one member, where were the body?
But and the Lord has set us in our respective lot. All right, and we are to be content with that lot and abound in that lot. All right, your lot may be a brother who is very profound in the history. You know, you may be a brother who's very profound in prophecy, or very profound in exhortation. You are to respect that lot and to abound in it, man. Through the Spirit, we finna move. starting to rain. There's water.
Nah, we're going over there.
How you doing, Al?
Good, how you doing?
More.
Can't complain, bro. Week been all right?
Oh man, the fire. That's all I can say, man. Just everything all over the place, man.
Gotcha.
Stay focused, you know.
Yes, sir.
Stay focused. All this stuff gonna be over here. What's up?
No, I want to use to get that other one. Put these on top of each other.
Where was that? We was going into the body, but if y'all had any precepts.
No, y'all holding something for the. Was y'all holding something for him?
I was reading.
You was reading something?
That was at the end of that. That was at the end of that.
No, it was more like
You was holding something when he was going into it, when he was in? So, bring out what you got so we can stay on.
It was at the end of that.
It was at the end of it?
It was reading
Still 1 Corinthians 12.
Yeah. It's at the end of that. This thing ain't level. You gotta get it right. There we go.
You got it.
So back in 1 Corinthians 12, verse 19, it says, "And if they were all one member, where were the body? But now are they many members, yet but one body. And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, much more of those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary."
Right. Those members of the body that seem to be more feeble are necessary. All right, like going again, your toe, your big toe. You don't realize how important it is to your balance until you lose it. Your hand, one of your fingers, your pinky toe. I mean, your pinky finger. You don't realize how important it is until you can't use it. All right, those more feeble members of the body are necessary. You know, and although you may be a brother who only has 1 subscriber or 2 views, no views, all right, it's important. All right, your office is important because although you may go unseen, never unheard. Unheard, you're never unseen, man. All right, your works are being recorded, all right, through the Spirit, man. All right, your office is necessary because a brother might look at your video 3 weeks down the line, And he may have really needed that video, man. Or he may have really needed whatever you were speaking about, you know, the precepts that you was bringing out. You know, so that more feeble member of the body is necessary, man. You know, he has his office as well. And this is all a part of the government that the Lord is establishing in the earth right now. All right? And we have to follow after that government. You know, not to hate it or not to hate and abhor our office, man. Because in doing so, man, you go against the government that the Lord is establishing, man. There's a reason why the Lord has already established the heads. There's a reason why the elders and apostles are elders and apostles, man. They have experience, man. They have the faith to back it. Whereas us being rejuvenated into this truth in the latter days, we don't have as much experience in leadership. You know, we don't have as much experience in guiding the nation. You know, so we are to play our respective lots accordingly, man. What you got? Any other brothers that that was
I got one real quick. This is Romans chapter 12 and verse 6. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given unto us, whether prophesy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness.
Right.
Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good.
Right, and there's a diversity in gifts. All right, when you look at the Lord's creation, it's diverse in itself. But everything works in tandem with each other. All right? Likewise, the body. All right, there's different diversities of gifts. One brother may be profound in the history. You know, he can go into it deep. One brother may be profound in exhortation. He can lift your spirit up. One brother may be profound when it comes to prophecies. He can break it down in Similac form, man. Give it to you like a baby. And each brother, each diversity of gift works together for this body, works together for the Lord's government, for the perfecting of the Lord's saints. So that's why it's important for us to embrace our spirit, to embrace the spirit that the Lord has imparted within us, all right, to perfect that spirit and give it back to the body. Because in our diversity of gifts, all right, it brings us unto one whole. It brings us unto one body, all right, to the perfection of the saints. But you got more on that?
Now that was it on
That was it on that one? Any other brothers holding one?
You want to get something?
Let's get Ephesians chapter 4. And I think start at the 15th verse. Going into I've sent apostles, prophets.
I get this one for you while you're getting that. This is James chapter 1 and 17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning.
Right, you read that one more time. I was reading this.
This is James chapter 1 and 17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights.
Right, and every gift that we receive ultimately is from Yahweh by Shem Shai. All right, which go, hey, and if we receive a gift from the Lord, all right, we are to abound in that gift, man. We are to perfect that gift. You know, not forsake that gift, man. Because that's a gift from the highest. It's a gift the Lord gave us because he knew we can abound in it, man. There's a reason why your spirit is geared toward prophecy. There's a reason why your spirit is geared toward exhortation, you know, history. It's because the Lord imparted that spirit within you, man. It's a gift from the highest. And with that gift, we are to abound in that gift, man. We are to multiply with that gift. You got it?
With whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning.
So Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers.
Start at 8 up.
Verse 8. Wherefore he saith, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth?
Right. When the Lord ascended, man, he gave gifts unto his men. He bestowed that spirit upon his men. And each man received a different portion of his spirit. All right, and that's what we see within different brothers. Each and every brother has a portion, a piece of the spirit of the Lord. All right, and with that piece of the Lord, with that portion of the Lord's spirit, all right, we are to perfect that, man. We are to abound in that and give it. You know, give that gift that we received unto others.
You jump down to 11.
Verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers.
Each office that he just read is a different office. They're not of the same office. They all have different respective lots. He gave some apostles, some teachers, some prophets. All right, all with a difference of gifts. Got it?
For the perfecting of the saints.
For the perfecting of the saints. All right, so we have apostles, we have teachers, we have prophets, all with difference of gifts, but it's all working toward the perfection of the saints. You got it?
For the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach, till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach.
Right.
That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
And that's it on that, bro. But
Go ahead, you guys.
But that's why we have the difference in the body, all right? Because each and every brother has a different portion of Yahweh Shai.
Right.
All right, and each and every brother is able to give something different unto the body. It can't be contained within and all within one man. Each and every brother has that different portion for a reason, for our perfection. You know, till we all come into the unity of the faith.
Hey, to add to the point, you said like one brother good at exhortation, one brother good, maybe better at breaking down to baby food, simple. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 29. Let the prophets speak 2 or 3, and let the other judge. If anything be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace. For ye may all prophesy one by one, that all may learn, and all may be comforted.
And that's how we speak. You know, we come out here in the highways and byways, we speak, whether it be by one or by two. You know, and another is sitting back judging the matter, holding the precept to what the other brothers are speaking about. You know, and this is all part of that order that the Lord is setting up. All right, for our perfection, for our edification. All right, because as one brother is speaking, all right, he may not speak. He may pass over a point, or he may pass over a precept, and that other brother that's sitting back judging, he'll be able. He gets it. Hey, let me bring this out. Or, hey, let's get this as well. Or another brother may speak as he's speaking. All right, that other speaker, he's able to catch that point that he missed. Hey, brother, hey, if I may skillfully add on to this point, or if I may say this, you know, and that's how we're edified through these videos, man. You see it all the time. All right, with each and every video that brothers do, you know, you have a speaker, main speaker, another brother may speak, and brothers holding precepts. This is all for our edification. This is a part of the government and the order that the Lord is establishing in the earth.
I got one. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 17, verse 30. For all things cannot be in men, because the Son of Man is not immortal.
Right. All things can't be in one man. One man cannot possess all the gifts of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, of Yahushua. It's not going to happen. Our spirit, our vessel cannot contain all the gifts of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. It'll overload. So therefore, the Lord divvied out different portions to different men. You know? And with that portion, once again, we are to perfect that portion. We are to abound in that portion. You know? Be content with our portion. Because we received our portion according to our lot, according to the spirit that the Lord gave in us. There's a reason why you can't be the chief, bro. You can't handle it. The demons are too heavy. It's a reason why you're not the toe. Because your office is more, whatever the Lord imparted in you is more needful. It's a reason why you're the toe, because it's a reason why you're the backbone. You need to hold brothers up. You're a very exhorted brother. It's a reason why we're in each and every one of our respective lots.
In Romans chapter 12, starting at verse 3, for I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as the Most High have dealt to every man the measure of faith.
Right.
For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office.
Right.
So we, being many, are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members one of another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the portion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity, he that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness.
Right. So once again, man, we've been given our respective lot according to the portion of faith that the Lord has given in us. All right? There's a reason, once again, that you aren't the chief, bro. It's because your spirit, that the portion of your faith, all right, the portion of your spirit that the Lord gave you, can't handle that office. But the office that you do have is because the Lord imparted that spirit within you to handle that and to abound in that office. And that's a part of that government that we must follow, man. We must follow the order that the Lord is establishing in the earth. Because if we can't follow this order, how much more when Yahushua returns? You ain't gonna get in line when Yahushua returns. So it's important to follow the order now.
Hey, in Luke 12, right? I want to read the point. It say, Luke 12 and 48. It reads, it say, for unto whosoever much is given, of him whosoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask more.
With the spirit that the Lord has imparted within us, all right, that's much. No matter what your office is, that's much.
Right.
So with much is going to be required. All right, that's why we must abound in our office. That's why we must perfect the spirit that the Lord gave us. Because in whatever portion we've been given, that's much. That's more than the majority of these men in the earth can receive. You know? So with that office, once again, we are to abound in that office, man.
I got it. In Exodus chapter 18, starting at verse 13, it says, and it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning unto even? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people came unto me to inquire of God. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do.
Read that stuff. Where you read that?
Exodus 18, I started at 13.
Okay, start over.
Exodus 18 and 13. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone? And all the people stand by thee from morning unto even. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people came unto me to inquire of the Most High, when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of the Most High and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Because that was a very, strenuous task. It said from morning to evening, Moses, he was just judging matters, and that's a lot for one person, right? It says, thou wilt surely wear away both thou and thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee, thou art not able to perform it thyself alone.
Right, that office is too heavy for one man. One man can't sit and judge the people, judge everybody. Right. All right, and then in turn try to hold himself together. It's too much for one man. Even yourself, think about it. When you're on the job and you got your respective lot, right? It's because you can't handle all the offices and all the lots on that job, man. If you were to try to take on all the offices, you'll overload yourself, man. You'll perish. Likewise, Moses, man, he was trying to judge. He was judging all the matters of the people. They was inquiring unto him about the mind of the Lord. He was trying to take all of it on, and he was being overloaded, man.
Hey, that's why, a little while ago, the order that came out, and Apostle Umlaw was like, brothers watch brothers' videos. Especially you got younger brothers, you watch their videos, and make sure when they do videos that they on point. And they, because if they ain't on point, you watch the video, they got to take it down, man. That's why the apostles put that order out like that, man. You got brothers that come, you got brothers that's learning, you got brothers that come in. Well, the older brothers of the camp, gotta watch those brother videos. And if me and this brother gotta watch everybody's videos, we ain't gonna do our videos, especially if a brother doing more videos than us. We gotta watch their videos and do our lessons and hit the plantation so it spreads out in the body, man. You got it.
So verse 19, it says, Hearken now unto my voice, I will give thee counsel, and the Most High shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them, to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens.
Hey, and this happening now in the spirit right now, man.
Exactly.
Right.
This happening right now, man. This is how rulership looks, man. It starts like this, through the spirit, man. Through the words of Yahweh Shema Shah. This is doing things decently in the order, man. You got it.
It said, set over them able men.
Right.
And that's exactly what the Lord is calling, man.
Right.
Able men.
Right.
You know, men who hate covetousness, men who aren't out here for their own personal gain, but for the gain of Yahweh Shah's government,
right,
man.
Right. For the kingdom, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You got it.
Just one more verse, unless you want me to continue to read on. Verse 22 says, And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So
Hey,
shall it.
that's why Salaki. That's why certain things don't have to get to the apostles. We got elders. You got older brothers, you got elders, elder bishops. Some things never get to the apostles, man. Because you got an order. If we get that high, it's a problem, man. If we get to the apostles, it's a real problem, man. And it's gonna be some actions behind that. But it never get that far because it's handled. It never get too far. Any situation in the body, it never get that far up, man. Because everything's done decent in order.
Right.
You got it.
The apostles are reserved for the more heavier matters, man.
Right.
You know, men, because in all honesty, the men that are coming up under the apostles should be more than capable of handling whatever matter comes their way.
Right.
Because they've been trained up in the way by the elders and apostles.
Right.
So when a small matter comes, you shouldn't be bothering, you know, the top, the heads, with a small matter. They have more heavier matters to judge, you know? So you should be able to, that's why it's important to bound in your office. Because you should be able to deal with certain matters. So that the point of a body, the point of a government, all right, and different offices is to make each and every other brother's job easier. So that each and every other brother ain't strained, you know?
Right. So read that again. That
Verse-
verse up.
Verse 21, Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee.
Beautiful. And if I can say this, man, there ain't no I in team, man. Okay? When you're dealing with a boxing match, the cut man isn't trying to do the swell man's job. Okay? The head coach, okay, isn't trying to do the grappling coach's job. Okay? Everybody's got a respective order. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
Just to add on to that point, because a lot of times when you watch these fights, typically the winner, he gives credit to the team.
Right.
Because, you know, like you said, it's a team effort, you know? That's what
Right. No, that's beautiful. Because that's what it is. It's a team effort. Everybody's position is imperative. It's imperative that the man that's wrapping his hands do it correctly. Okay? And whoever's applying the grease, that they do it correctly. Everybody's got a position and everybody's got to be content with that position.
if I may say as well, just like when you're at war, you may not necessarily be in the battlefield, so to say, but you know, the soldiers, they gotta eat, so you got the cooks and you know, what may appear to be not a significant part, but nevertheless, every person has their lot, and you know, every part that everyone has to play is important in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Right, because Jake don't want to admit that they've been a cook in the war. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what did you do in the war? I was a cook. They don't want to admit that, but that's an important office, man. Because when the soldiers come back famished, they need some way to rejuvenate themselves. Battle nurses. Oh, you weren't out there on the field fighting, but who's gonna patch up the wounds?
Right.
each and every office that may seem feeble is equally important, man. The body wasn't able to be function. The body wasn't able to function without an ear. I mean, without a toe properly. You wouldn't be able to function without one of your fingers properly. Likewise, a government or a war. It wouldn't be able to function properly without one of those more feeble parts functioning at its full capacity.
I got one for y'all. This is Psalms chapter 16 and 5. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen upon me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage.
Right. And we have a goodly heritage with our lot, man. All right, whatever the Lord has dealt upon you, we get 1 Timothy 6, and I think it's 6.
1 Timothy 6 and 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Godliness with contentment is great gain. All right, we have to learn to be content. Hey, could one of you look up that word for content, Bible?
I got one real quick for you. 1 Corinthians 12 and 18. But now hath the Most High set the members, every one of them in the body, as it hath pleased him.
Right. We've received our lot as it has pleased the Lord, man. It pleases the Lord for certain brothers to have the office of exhortation. It pleases the Lord for certain brothers to have that office of prophecy. This is pleasing to the Lord, the office that we receive. So by going contrary to that, we're going contrary to the Lord's order. And if you can't follow the order of the Lord right now, while he ain't here, how much more when he returns, man? The scripture say in Luke, the 19th chapter, I believe, him who will not, that I should reign over him, bring him hither and slay him before me. So if you can't follow the order that the Lord is establishing now, while he ain't here, how much more when he returns? You're going to buck up then too.
So the definition for contentment in the blue letter, in the G842, says a perfect condition or life in which no aid or support is needed. Sufficiency of the necessities of life, a mind contented with his lot.
A mind contented with his lot. All right, we have to learn. You have to learn to be content with your lot. All right, there's a reason why you're in your lot. Once again, you know, we harping on the point, you know, but it's important. You know, it's a reason why you're in the lot that you're in right now. Because it's because it pleases the Lord. All right, we have to learn to be content with our lot, not to seek out a higher office, not to seek out a lower office. All right, because in doing so, not only will you destroy yourself, but you're hindering the government that the Lord is establishing, man. You're going against the Lord's order. And we know what's going to happen to the people that go against the Lord's order, that don't want him to rule. It's off with their head, man. Simple.
We got a precept. This is Psalms 16 and 3. It reads, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent, in whom is all my delight, their sorrows shall be multiplied, that hasten them after another God. They'll drink offering the blood which I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. Yahweh is the portion of my inheritance, of my cup, thou maintainest my lot.
Right, and the Lord maintains our lot.
Yeah.
If you're content with it. If you try to seek out another lot, he won't maintain your lot. He won't maintain your portion. He'll let you drink and drink until you overfill, or he'll pour all the water that was in your vessel.
Yeah, and I was reading the other verse. They talking about 2/3, man. The Lord ain't maintaining that lot for them to be righteousness, man. It's for folly and wrath, man. So in Proverbs 16 and 33, it reads this: the lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord.
Right. Disposing of our lot is of the Lord. It's of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, those who the Lord prayed for, all right, there are certain lots that he ordained for them to have.
Right.
And so while he prayed for them, he prayed for them to be able to abound in that office, to be able to continue in that office.
That's what Yahushua said in Matthew, John 17. I pray that you take them not out the world, right? But that they be in the world, but not of the world. Because this lot, man, this is a different walk, man. You got it.
In Numbers chapter 16, starting at verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord.
That's those guys today that know more than the apostles now.
Right.
Yeah, that's them right there. You got it.
And with proper understanding, you understand how foolish that is.
Right.
Because the experience that the apostles have is unmatched, man. Yeah, you have men who have been in this truth for over 35 plus years.
And you got scholars, man,
Scholars.
that don't know nothing compared to what the apostles know, man. Scholars. Oh, I'm sorry. Allegedly scholars.
Right.
Because they ain't scholars, man.
They've been confounded.
Our scholars is the apostles of Great Millstone, man.
Right.
Those are the scholars of the Hebrew Israelites, man.
All right.
Real talk. You got it up.
But that was it on that.
I got one on.
Yep.
Got one on.
No, you didn't. Well, I was gonna say this. When you go into the first guy, Korah, that was one of Moses' cousins.
Right.
So it was close to them, and you know.
And
Right.
you always had that spirit of rebellion within our nation, man. And it said, you read that last verse again, they rose up against.
I think one was a Dathan and Abraham was from the tribe of Reuben.
One of them.
Yeah,
Dathan,
one of them was
Abraham.
Reuben, man.
Mhm.
And then Reuben was the oldest brother, man. Hey, the Lord said it in Micah 3:1. Is it not for you, O heirs of Jacob, to know judgment? They supposed to be like, nah, we ain't. But hey, that's that evil spirit, man. That's that carnal flesh. Always wanna, man, we can do this too. You got it, Scott.
So, want to go back in Numbers?
Yeah, just that last verse where it said, he rose up against the Lord.
Numbers 16:3. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord.
Right, and they lifted themselves up against the congregation of the Lord. Let's get Acts 5 and 38. 'Cause you have men doing that today, man.
Yeah.
You have men lifting themselves up against the congregation of the Lord. When the Lord is making it clear who he's dealing with. You know, it was clear back in that day who the Lord was dealing with. It was Moses, plain as day. But you have men in that time who thought it upon themselves, oh, I could do that too. There ain't shit to do what Moses doing. I could be an apostle. I could be a chief. I could lead the people.
Bro, and another beautiful lesson that we learned from Amaziah, bro. In 2 Chronicles 25. Bro, the Lord put his spirit on him, made him who he was, took down the Edomites. Then you're gonna go worship their gods? And what the Lord say? They gods didn't save them. So why would you pray that it didn't save them from getting put to death? The Lord cold, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Lord cold, man. You got it up.
And if I may say, because when you read on down in Numbers 15, the Lord showed who he was dealing with. And it's going to be the same thing today.
Right. That's why it said Job 12:16, to deceive and to deceive by his, man.
2 Ezra 16, it talks about how the Lord's going to make it known who he was dealing with this whole time. Who had it right and who had it wrong.
Right.
The Lord's going to make it known.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
But you want to Acts 5 and 38?
Yeah.
Acts 5 and 38.
Yep.
And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught.
Right.
But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it. Lest happily ye be found even to fight against the Most High.
Right, and that's what you're doing. All right, by rising up against the counsel and the order of the Lord, are you fighting against the Most High, man? You boxing with God. And what's that old saying go? Your hands ain't long enough to box with God. You can't box with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You're going to lose every time. 10 shot, head shot. You can't win, bro. You're going to lose. But,
Keep reading. You done with that?
that was on?
I want to read some more on that.
All right.
Because it show you when they didn't want, these guys, when you keep reading about do this, they didn't want to do what the apostles were doing. They want to do something different. Read that.
So verse 40, it says, and to him they agreed. And when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahweh Shai.
Hey, that name powerful, man. How about Shema Washai powerful, man? You got it?
Hey, wait, what do you have men saying today? The name of the Lord don't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have the name of the Lord. It
Hey,
don't
that's
exist in earth.
Salaki, that's Malachi 1. The name of the Lord is dreadful among the heathen, man. You got it.
And they, at one point, they were teaching the name at
Right.
some point. But it says, and let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And daily in the temple and in every house, they ceased not to teach and preach Yahushua HaMashiach.
Right, because the charge that they received is far greater than the orders of men, man.
Right.
You know, we're going to have men in these latter days telling us not to preach in the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai. But that don't supersede the order of the Lord, man. The Lord told us to preach in his name so that the sheep are gathered, so that those who were ordained to see the light can see the light, man.
You got it. I'll keep reading on that.
That was it.
And read the part in about through this. Go up. You in Acts 5?
Acts
Yeah, that's
5.
around verse 30.
Yeah, I think it's like 36. I think it is 34. I just want to make that point.
Hey, because you got men that's saying that you're not going to worship Yahweh Shah. And y'all brothers
Yeah.
funny, man.
Yeah.
Because in the ancient world, there was a certain kind of etiquette you showed the ones that the Lord ordained and sat at that seat. And a part of that order was to bow down before the king, man, to show a certain level of reverence. And you don't think you're going to do that for Yahweh Shah? You think Yahweh Shah is the brother that drew the shortest straw and had to take the lick for everybody? You're going to find out the hard one.
Oh, yeah. Here it is. We speaking about the man that's supposed to have dominion over the whole earth. And you saying you ain't going to worship him. What madness is that? That sounds crazy, man.
Right. The scripture says every knee shall bow.
Man,
So who we bowing to if it ain't Yahweh Shai?
what is that? What is that? That's a form of worship.
Bending the knee.
Break that down.
You remember in 300 when the Leonidas, when the dude came
Yeah,
and he was like
Xerxes.
submission.
Yeah.
He's like, see, that's the problem. Okay? But that's what you nations gonna do. If the scripture says that for all the gods of the nations are idols, then you know God ain't his name. If the scripture says that his name is a strong tower, then what is the name?
Right.
Hey, what they don't realize is they don't want to submit to Yahweh Shah, but they submitted to his word, man.
Right.
You already submitted.
Stupid.
Go ahead and read that up.
Acts chapter 5, I'll start at verse 34. It says, then stood there up one in the council of Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had a reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space, and said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Dudius, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught.
You see? 400 is a lot of men, man, that's coming against the gospel. That's 400. Go ahead.
After this man rose up, Judas of Galilee, in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him, he also perished.
You see? And the ones that follow him. That was the point. So, hey, you either follow the orders of Yahweh Shema Shah, because this ain't no men. But the Lord set up men to follow, to lead. You learn, you build, you grow, then you start to be a leader.
Right.
But it's an order, man. And it said 400 that got up, rose up with duties. That's a lot of people, man.
Right.
You know them niggas back today doing the same thing, man. Scoffing, talking trash, making documentaries. Yeah, they out there. Same Jakes, man. There is nothing new. Them same Jakes, when the brother read the numbers, that the Lord opened the ground up and swallowed up Korah, Dathan, and Abraham and their families. Right? It said it was about 250. They back today. Them same niggas that was in the wilderness, they got bit by the serpents. Yeah. The hopeful leg running to Moses like, listen, hey, we ain't with them.
We ain't with them. Let me tell you something here. Let me tell you something.
Please tell the Lord to take. You see what kind of snakes them is? They don't even, hey, we ain't never seen them kind before. We was in the wilderness for 40 years. Tell them to take these away, man. Yeah. These some of those black mambas. Yeah. You got it.
This is Jeremiah 17:5. It says, and Esau hurt, man.
Yeah.
It say, thus saith the Lord, cursed beeth the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabit it. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is. All right, and the reason why those men fell away is because they trusted in men. They made flesh their arm instead of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, they made men their strength instead of the Lord, man. But it says again, blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is, man. As long as we keep our trust and our hope in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're never going to fail, man. All right, the Lord has never confounded those who trusted in him, man. The Lord has never fell short. He's not in the latter days and not in the times to come. But we getting ready to move again. So bear with us, Baba Kashab. Back to the spot.
Ya ve también que el codo también. Y eso yo no lo puedo levantar. Así como tiene que hacer eso, cada rato. Entonces me estoy quitando el vacío. Mira que están dando gracias.
It started back dripping.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I don't think it should rain though. It should be clear. It should be clear.
Reset the code. Let's bring it out. No, we gonna put got it out, whatever you had.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1. Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushai. And the things thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. Yeah, and those faithful men are the elder apostles of great millstone. Okay, because you other camps, okay, you're going off on Revelations 13 and 16. Okay, you're going off talking about popping your woman in the butt on the Sabbath. Okay, your baby fringes, you're taking guns to count. Okay?
No, that was too dislocated. That was too different. Pop your woman in the butt and on the Sabbath.
And on the
That's two different
Woo,
counts.
that's a whole, yeah, that's con.
That's ISBK talking about the back thing.
Right.
And that's IUIC talking about the Sabbath thing.
Con.
That's crazy. You
That's
got
crazy.
it.
No,
You
that's
got it.
beautiful. You know, because that's the faithful men that the scriptures was talking about aren't these men. Okay, these men ain't teaching you properly according to the scriptures. See, the scriptures, you read them and you apply them. Application is key when it comes to the scriptures.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
Right.
And our whole job is to receive this word, all right, and then to bestow this word upon men of understanding, all right, men who may be able to understand and comprehend these secrets and teach others also, man.
Right.
You know, this is about the multiplication of the Lord's Spirit, man. We're supposed to multiply as we receive. We're supposed to multiply, just like going into that parable of the Lord's talents. All right, the Lord gave us a talent, and He expects us to multiply that talent, not to lay it in a napkin, not to store, lay on it, sit on it. We're supposed to multiply that talent, man. All right, and multiply that talent upon men of understanding. All right, because the majority of people on this earth, they ain't gonna get it. But there's a remnant that is gonna get it, and that remnant is flocking unto the truth right now. You know, they're receiving the words of truth. They're receiving the words of correction and reproof.
And if I may add on to that before I bring this precept out, because like you brought it out earlier about how whatever portion of the Spirit that we were given is a gift from the Most High. And like any gift, it can be taken away. Because a lot of they thinking they're not expendable. We're all expendable. And,
Right.
you know, one of us falls out the truth, we'll be replaced. Like Judas Iscariot.
Right.
You know, he was replaced.
Right.
But in Romans chapter 5, verse 3, because everyone wants to have that top spot, but you see, Yahweh Bashim Shai gave certain men, put them in a position to where they're able to, you know, judge certain matters and to be the leaders that they are through this right here, what I'm about to read.
You gotta feel that light, man. That light gotta be filled, man. If you don't feel it, the Lord gonna put somebody there that will feel it, man.
In Romans chapter 5, starting at 3, it says, not only so, but we glory in tribulations, also knowing that tribulation worketh patience,
Right.
and patience experience,
Yep.
and experience hope. And this is something that you can't talk when it comes to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who, whether you want to believe it or not, hear it or not, they are the true leaders of the nation of Israel right now.
Right.
They got that experience. But you got people just trying to, you know, surpass that, and that, you see that having that top spot, that's not what this is about. You know, like you said earlier, each and every position that is given to a brother is, you know, it's beautiful within itself. So just whatever is given to you, just you know, take it.
Right. Because you can't teach experience, and you can't read your way into experience.
Yeah, right.
You got to go through things to gain experience, man. You know, and the elders and the apostles have went through different things in order to be able to say and to teach how they teach, man. It's the reason why the elders and apostles are able to teach us about endurance, because they went through 9/11, man. They're being persecuted, being thrown in prison. So they're able to actually speak on these things, man. They ain't just read that out of a book and just read their way into experience. Hell no. They had to go through things, man. Likewise us. That's why we are to respect our respective lot, man. Like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You got it.
Because I just wanted to add on to that, because a lot of things, when the apostles say certain things, it may not make sense, but when you get that experience, it makes sense. When you go through that experience, it makes sense. That was
And it's like me and the brother was talking about this earlier this week. We on a special ops mission. You know, in special ops, you don't have no dog tags, you don't have no name.
Yeah.
So when you go off, they just replace you. If you get off, they just replace you, man.
Oh yeah. What's that? You off the grid? You ain't even.
Yeah, you off the grid.
Yeah, you don't got no name, none of that, man.
You a ghost.
Yeah, you a John Doe.
And just like the brother's going into, man, this is a gift, and this gift can be taken at any moment if we're not multiplying it, if we're not treating it correctly.
Hey, on the movie Mark Wahlberg Shooter, when he said, hey, leave him. He's burned. Leave him. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah, this
They
is
check his
special
vitals.
mission.
Once they see he's dead, they keep it moving. They don't even go back to kill him. They don't even go back to get the body.
No problem,
And
Perry.
if you can receive it, that is the mission.
Right.
If you choose to accept, that's why you gotta count the cost.
Yeah.
Jake, when Apostle Boss say brothers don't know what they're a part of, that's a part of this, man.
Right.
What you signed up for. Just like with Esau, Jake think because they get Camaros and shit right now, that's all that's about.
Yeah.
Nah, as soon as this shit get cracking, you gonna have to take your Camaro driving ass across that water and meet them niggas over there. Because that's what you signed up for. Whether you knew it or not, it wasn't just about getting good benefits. It was also about that Camaro sitting in the driveway and then dying for it.
Right.
That's what you was willing to die for, some Jordans and Camaros. And nobody say nothing until it's time to go there. Them niggas brag about the benefits, but they don't brag about the shit that they about to have to do, man. 'Cause that's a part of this. Likewise, the prisoners of hope, we've signed up for the mission all the way to the worst case scenario, which is really the best case scenario.
Right. Let's get Hebrews 12 and verse 5.
Can I read this?
Yeah.
Luke 14:28. For which of you intended to build a tower, sitteth not down first and count up the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
Hey, because Esau sent a, you know, Esau got missions where they'll send a whole 12 niggas to pick up 12 bodies. They'll send a mission of 12, and some niggas might die grabbing them bodies.
Yeah.
But them Edomites willing to do that for their country. Jake not willing to die for nothing, man.
Hell no.
How much more so for this truth, man? You had men that died trying to get King David Sweetwater. You got a lot of Jakes that won't stand up for nothing, man. That's why you got to count yourself blessed if the Lord put the Spirit on you to do so, man. Every day, man, because it's an everyday fight.
Verse 29, Luke 14:29. Least happily after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him.
Because there's going to be some strong days and there's going to be some hard days.
Right.
But you're going to have to learn to fight through both of them, man. And as you learn to fight through the hard days, you become stronger with your hard days. And then your hard days get harder. So you never feel yourself get stronger. You just glad. That's why scripture say endure to the end. You never feel like you're strong enough. Because you always being pushed on edge, man.
Right.
And that's how the Lord refines us.
Right.
But overall, you are becoming stronger. You just don't know it. It say, verse 30, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
Right. And it's like that video that came out with that Eve. She said, I ain't signed up for war.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't signed up for the army to go to war. Well, in this truth, man, you signed up for this, man. You signed up to endure to the end. That's what we all signed up for. The scriptures say in Matthew the 24th chapter, he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So that's the mission that we signed up for. And in that mission, we're gonna face hells like the brother speaking about. The hell gonna increase. The tribulation gonna increase. But through that, man, we have the victory. Lord willing, we are that number. All right, we have the spirit within us to overcome that, man. The scripture say in Romans the 8th chapter that we are made more than conquerors, man. What is a conqueror? A man that overcomes, man. A man that overtakes a certain enemy or a certain trial that seemed too great. And through the Spirit, that's us, man. We're more than conquerors through the Spirit and power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And that's why it's a blessing for us to wake up every morning with this fervent spirit. All right, Lord willing, the Lord put an even more fervent spirit on us in the future, man.
Right. And these are the conditions of the battle. Okay, we are nothing but nomads, man. Okay? And we have to be happy with our positions because at the end of the day, you're looking at everybody else, how everybody's content with this place. Okay, content with the positions and the titles at their jobs. Okay, the simple things in life, right? But the Heavenly Father put you on a mission that nobody even knows about.
Right.
Okay? He told you where you're going.
Right.
He told you what's ahead. Okay? He told you what's important. He didn't tell the whole world. So we all a bunch of John Does around here, and we wouldn't have it no other way.
Right. Hey, you'd have died for less in the world.
Yeah, man.
Facts.
Yeah.
You'd have died for them four
Facts.
niggas that you used to smoke with.
Facts.
And they'd have hit your baby mama once you got locked up or you was dead after they ate the macaroni up, drank the tequila, the Hennessy. You'd have died for them niggas, man.
Yep.
Come on, bro.
And
How
it's
much
a
more
test,
for this?
man? It's a test. And this truth is a test, man. Hey, what they do in school? You gotta take these little garbage, standardized tests, right? College, you wanna?
Yeah.
Hey, what's this movie on? Boys in the Hood. He had to take the test, so you can try to get to college.
about Ricky?
Yeah, Ricky. Yeah, you gotta take tests.
Come on.
Well, the Lord is testing us, man. You're either gonna pass or you're gonna fail.
Right. Hey, and the difference with this test is it's open book.
Right.
So you if you fail, that's on you.
As soon as he said he was going to the army, the Lord took him.
Yeah.
No, sir, you gotta come with me.
He's out of here. We finna transition
Lucky,
again.
we keep going back and forth because it's raining. It's raining.
He's just walking right here. The water. Yeah. You getting that walk in tonight.
Good, bro?
Yeah, I'm very peaceful. No, I got it.
Got it up?
Yeah, come on. Yesterday. That was about small shot me. About my phone.
I gotta turn this around.
So yeah, that's why you holding something?
No, but I can be. Oh, for sure. You wanted that Hebrews 12?
Oh yeah, read that. Yeah, read that for me. You get it. Matter of fact, I get it. You already got it? Yeah. Okay.
Hebrews chapter 12, starting at verse 4. Ye have not resisted unto blood, striving against sin,
Right.
and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children, my son.
Hey, it's been a minute since we brought that out, man. Hey, we haven't strived. Read that again. We ain't went through nothing yet, man. But the Lord is building us up for that, though, man. Read again.
Ye have not resisted unto blood,
Right.
striving against sin, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children,
Right.
my son. Despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
The Lord don't got you. You ain't going through a situation in your everyday walk where you bleeding, you get cut up. No, man. It's trials and tribulations. It's adversity and afflictions, man. You ain't bleeding. You ain't about to die. You may feel like it in the spirit, but you ain't finna die, man.
Right. You ain't Paul.
Yeah.
You ain't shipwrecked. You ain't in the middle of the ocean not
Right.
knowing what's going on
In
for
the
days.
cold, in the deeps.
Come on.
Hey, the Lord ain't put us through none of that, man. All we gotta do is study, man. Study. That's what the Lord said, Hosea 4:6. My people shall perish for lack of knowledge, man. All you gotta do is study, and study, man. Study. Get edified so you can edify. That's it. It's simple, man. You ain't bleeding because you gotta turn pages, because you gotta hit Google or DuckDuckGo and look up articles to add to the lesson. You ain't bleeding. You got it.
And if I'm gonna say this, and all that studying ain't supposed to be just words on the page to you, man.
Right.
You're supposed to actually implement that studying into your life. Don't just read to read. Read to apply, man.
Right. To understand.
Right.
No. You got it up.
Yeah, because we may complain or whatnot, but one thing we gotta understand is no one went through more hell than Yahushua himself.
Right.
And if he did it, there's no excuse why we can't do it. So I got this in St. John 16:33. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation.
Yep.
But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So not only did he overcome it, but he laid the blueprint for us to show us how to do it and that it can be done.
Yep. And we reading 1 Peter 4:1. Let me read it real quick. It say, this is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. For as much then as Mashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin.
We got to arm ourselves with the like mind of Yahushua. What was the mind of Yahushua? Let's go up on Hebrews 12. Let's get I think it says in verse 2.
Yeah, Hebrews 12:2. Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith,
Right.
who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High.
And that's why he said, if a man do not pick up his cross and follow me, He ain't worthy. If Yahushua had to tow his cross, when we read in Luke, he was towing his cross. And then his burden got a little heavy. Then you had Simon a Cyrenian. Helped them tow the cross the rest of the way. Well, that's a brother. That's like it's your brothers. Hey, it's a body, man. Everybody's suffering the same mind. That's why it's a body, man. You down, hit a brother up. I might be broke, but I can lift your spirit up with his comforter.
God, this is
If I can say this, 9 times out of 10, that's what's needed.
right.
9 times out of 10, that's what's needed.
Hey, Job says, Job 23:12. Let me read it. I'm gonna let y'all get it. This is Job chapter 23. And verse 12, it reads this. I'm gonna start at 10. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he have tried me, I shall come forth as gold, Lord willing. My foot have held his steps. His way have I kept and not declined. Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. You got it, right?
Beautiful. This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he has come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughters, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
Right. Hey, last night was in early the week, in our first Chronicles 28, when Solomon was building the house for the Lord, he called together these men to bear the burdens of the building of the temple, man. So when you go to Nehemiah chapter 4, when Zerubbabel and all the chief of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was rebuilding the temple, hey, it said the same thing, man. It said they was bearing the burden of building the temple, man. It said one hand was on the work and one hand was on the weapon, man. But this is a spiritual battle now. It's a spiritual temple being built. And we got both hands on the work. You got it.
And as the brothers going into Sloppy, as the brothers going into building, if you look at, that's a spiritual temple. When you're building, even carnal buildings, you still need a plumber. You still need an electrician.
Right.
Okay? The engineer is not the person out there that's laying down the concrete.
Right.
Okay? We all have a position to play.
So I got Hebrews chapter 2. Again, because Yahushua being our greatest example, he showed us that it can be done, and he gave us the blueprint on how to do it.
All right.
Hebrews chapter 2, verse 9, starting at 9, it says, but we see Yahushua, who was made a little lower than the angels, so he came in the flesh. Joseph and Mary, they did have sex. All right, Yahushua, he did come as a man. He had feelings, he had emotions, okay? It says, for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of God, should taste death for every man. For it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through suffering. So again, just showing furthermore the point that Yahushua, he's the captain of our salvation. Okay, again, he was made a little lower than the angels, so that, you know, because sometimes we may go through certain infirmities and afflictions and whatnot, and we may think that, you know, we're the only one, you know, no one's may understand, but Yahushua, he's been there. All right, he's felt whatever you're feeling. He's felt that, because again, he was a man. He came as a man. And like I mentioned earlier, no one caught more hell than Yahushua. Right. So he came in the flesh, and you see, with all the excuses, there is no excuses, because again, Yahushua, he did it. If he could do it, we could do it, and he did it in the flesh. Now we're not going to do it perfectly in the flesh, all right, but nevertheless, our spirit is being perfected, and Yahushua, he paved the way and showed us how to do it, how to get it done.
And that's what makes his walk so significant, man. Because he came like us, man. And he showed us that it's able to be done. You know, this walk of ours isn't impossible. You know, and we're going to catch hell. But not as much hell as Yahushua caught. You know, if Yahushua can catch that much hell and overcome and endure, and to the end, how much more us, man? You know, us, those of us who have received his spirit, you know? And it said made perfect through suffering.
That was Salak. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was saying go ahead. Oh, Salak. Let me say this real quick. So the word behoove, right, in the Hebrews too, but it say behoove Yahushua, right? If you can read that real quick, bro, then jump back up where you was at. I'm gonna make a point. I think it's verse 14 to 15.
In Hebrews 2,
Yeah.
Hebrews chapter 2,
It said behoove him. 17. Okay.
verse 17.
That's what you got? That's spirit.
16, 17.
Okay. Go ahead, what you got, then we'll get it.
So Hebrews 2 and 17.
No, where you was at? I don't want to
Oh, you want me to? Oh.
Yeah, whatever
Oh.
y'all was reading.
I started at, want me to read
Talk about it.
verse 9 again? Verse 9 to 10 again? That's
Yeah.
what I read.
Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 2, verse 9. But we see Yahushua, who was made a little lower than the angels, for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of God, should taste death for every man.
Hey, and that's the King of Kings. Ain't no king in the ancient world tasting death for every man of his nation. They'll throw men at people to save their own life. How was shot, man?
And we're not supposed to worship him? Now, come on, man.
All right.
Verse 10. For it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings.
One more.
Verse 11. For both he that sanctified and they who are sanctified are all one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren.
Right. So this wasn't a burden to him. The Lord ain't look at it like you had to wash the dishes and pull brothers up. Let me go ahead and take care of these rascals. Nah, he said he's not ashamed to call us brothers. That's deep.
Hey, hold on. Keep reading on that, and hold on. Exodus 13 and 1.
If I can say this, and those who he's not ashamed to call brethren are those who partake in his sufferings, man.
Right.
You know, those who actually those who actually endure this cross, man. You know, the Lord ain't gonna call you a brother if you just a nigga, man. You know, you ain't gonna go through no sufferings. You just ain't gonna partake in none of the cross, man.
Yeah.
The Lord gonna call you a brother if you partake in this cross, man. If you partake in these sufferings.
That's right.
If you go off, if you basically out in the world after Yahushua done died, his blood that was shed, and you basically crucify him anew. And he's not getting back on that cross with no other Israelites. That was a one and done.
Right.
So if you do that, you're putting shame on the sacrifice. The Lord say he loved the world so much that he gave the world Yahushua to be put to death for us to have access to it.
Right.
So if you take that lifeline and spit on it, which is what they do when they come out in this world and they live like this, ain't no room for you. That's why the Lord gonna come back and it's gonna be hell.
Yahushua said he called us his friends. And I think that's Sirach, the 6th chapter goes into how a friend has to be proven.
Right.
Like Yahushua, he was proven. So, you know, we're in the proving grounds right now. We have to be proven as well. Lord's will, we're of that number.
Right, and a lot of times when you're in the streets and you're being worldly, okay, your companion, he's not even related to you, but you'll call him your brother. Why? Because he's down for the same things you're down for. He's gonna ride with you just like you're gonna ride for him. Right? So that's the same thing we're doing for Yahushua, man. We're riding for Yahushua, man.
You got you read on that?
Hebrews chapter 2, verse 12, saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the church will I sing praise unto thee. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which God hath given me. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part in of the same, that through death he might destroy him that hath the power of death, that is, the devil,
Right.
and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage.
Right, which is the Israelites, all our lifetime. We've been subject to bondage from Egypt to North America, man. Go ahead.
For verily he took not on him the nature of angels,
Right,
but he took on him the seed of Abraham.
right.
Wherefore in all things it behooved him
It behooves the Lord, go ahead.
to be made like unto his brethren,
Right,
that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people.
now I say it behooves the Lord to be made like his brethren, man. So the word behoove, it say in Google, It is a duty or responsibility for someone to do something. It's a duty or responsibility, right? Now we're dealing with the mind of Yahushua, right? So in Luke, this is Luke 17:10, it reads this. It was Yahushua's duty and responsibility, right? Luke 17:10. So likewise ye, when you should have done all those things which were commanded you, who commanded us? Yahushua. Luke 16, Luke 14 and 16 to 23, the Lord said, go to the highways and hedges, to the streets and lanes, and bid my people to the marriage, right? It was commanded. In Matthew 22, it says, so likewise ye, when you should have done all those things which I commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants, we have done that which is our duty to do.
And this,
It behooved Yahushua, that was his duty, man. That was his responsibility. You got it, you can say something, go ahead.
and this is our duty, man.
Right.
Seeing that the Lord laid down his life for us, this is the least that we can do.
It's the least. Hey, so yeah, Exodus 13 is 1, because it said, hey, real quick, read that Hebrews 2, what it was. Now let's say, those that are sanctified, and the sanctified should be one. Read that one more time.
Hebrews 2 and 11. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one.
Are all of one. So read that.
This is Exodus chapter 13 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, sanctify unto me all the firstborn,
Ooh!
whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel,
Right?
both of man and of beast, it is mine.
You see, the Lord said what? Sanctify. Get the precept in Luke 2, in 23. The Lord say, so sanctify, man. This is the whole flolet that's coming back. Lord willing, we be of those men. You got it?
Luke 2 and 23, as it is written in the law of the Lord,
What we just read in Exodus 13 and 1. You got it?
every male that openeth the womb shall be called holy to the Lord.
You see that? Now get Leviticus 20 and 26. Lord willing, we be those men that be called holy. It said those that were sanctified, hey, it's joined to Yahushua, man. It's joined to Yahweh through Yahushua. You got it.
Leviticus 20 and 26, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine.
You see? So read that again in Hebrews 2 and 11.
Hebrews 2 and 11. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one.
Come on, man. Lord willing, man. Lord willing, man. Y'all got it.
And that word,
Come, this is 1 Peter chapter 2 and 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people,
Right.
that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
How you show forth your praises, man? What do you show forth your praises? In the highways and hedges, in the streets and lanes. Look at that, Romans 12. Right, Leviticus 17 and 10 said this is our duty, man. The Lord gave you that high calling. What He tell you in Philippians 3, man. Where you supposed to? What's your high calling? And what are you gonna do with that? You gonna hide behind the keyboard? No, that's for after camp, man. That's for when you can't get to camp, man. Go ahead. You got Romans 12. Yeah.
this is Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. Verse 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of our power, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice.
I remember in Psalm 55, the Lord say, gather my saints together, those that made a covenant with me by sacrifice. What's the sacrifice? Present your body. Present your body, man. You got to read it one more time. So
It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Heavenly Father, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Heavenly Father,
which is what?
which is your reasonable service.
This is our reasonable service. It's reasonable, the Lord say. I ain't got you out there walking on nails while you teach. No. You got it. Y'all got it.
And it,
Psalms 50 and 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
And that goes back to Exodus 24, man. The Lord had Moses see the Israelites down in the wilderness, and he sprinkled blood on them, man. And he took 12 pillars for the 12 tribes of Israel, man. That applies to only Israelites. Saints. Psalms 1, what is it? Psalm 148, 13 and 14 say that the saints are Israelites. Psalm 149. You can't be a saint if you're not an Israelite, man. You got it up. You were gonna say something though?
You going to Psalm 148?
Yeah, you can read it.
You got one, right? Nah.
Yeah.
I
Let
got
me read this first.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 12. Salaki, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter, fear power, and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
Right.
For power shall bring every work into judgment and every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Hey, and the brother just said this earlier, man. You would have went hard for them four niggas in the world you was smoking weed with. Right? The Lord gonna bring that back to your remembrance. You might as well be over here doing this, man.
Hey, this is our duty. This is why we were born into the earth, man. You know, the whole world seeks for a purpose. You know, every man seeks for their purpose. Well, this is the purpose of man.
Right.
To serve the Lord, you know, to serve the Creator, fear the Lord, and keep His commandments.
They said this is the heritage of servants, bro. This is our heritage. It's a lot.
Because if you think it's miserable, if you think it's hard waiting now, imagine having to wait in Rome. Imagine having to be in Rome and do this. The Lord fresh off a dime, and you gotta go out there and you gotta head first in the middle of Rome, where they'll feed your ass to the lions. The reason a lot of Paul's letters was coded like that was because if they found that letter and it said anything treasonous, they could have, and they eventually did, but he could be charged with treason for that. That's how deadly it was in Rome, man. So whenever you think it's tough, bro, we ain't seen tough.
And this is modern day Rome. How much more deadly is it now?
Bro, the Lord said we have not resisted unto blood, man. This is, hey, what's that? 2 Corinthians 4 and 17? This is a light affliction, man.
Right. And that's why it tells us to prepare for the search of our fathers. Because when you search out our fathers and you look at their office and the lot that they had to overtake, it was far worse than this one right here. It was far heavier than this one right here. We talking about men that was in the Roman captivity. We talking about Daniel. He was in the middle. He was at the top of the head.
Top, man.
He had to wait centuries. And now you know we here. We at the end of the end. This is but our due. This is but our reasonable service. It behooves us to stand in our light here in these latter days when the Lord, He getting ready to make His second return soon, man. We can see that through way of prophecy. So our office, our burden isn't as heavy as the men before us, man. You know, the scripture said that we have entered into other men's labors. Not just the labors of the men that came in this life, but the men that came before us, man. Their labors. They had to go through captivity. They had to go through being in the midst of the Babylonians, being in the midst of the Persians and Medes, the Greeks, the Romans. This is a heavy work that has withstood the test of time. Going to show you that this word don't falter. These prophecies don't falter. So it is but our reasonable duty. It's our reasonable service to stand up for the Lord here in these other days. Because he getting ready to show up and do that, man.
Hey, that's why Gamaliel said, if this not of Yahweh Shem Shah, leave him alone. Leave him alone. It's going to collapse, man. No, but the brother said, this truth has stood everything, man. Let me get this. Y'all hold this on, let me get this. In First Ezra, right? It's First Ezra chapter 4. Start at verse 35. It reads this. Is not he great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth and stronger than all things. The truth is stronger than all things. First Ezra 4 and 35. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth and stronger than all things.
Right, and we see the truth is stronger than all things. They tried to hide the truth from in the earth for centuries, man.
Right. Oh, what does it say? Psalm 85 and 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth. Come on, man. Oh, get Luke 8 and 17, man.
It's Luke 8 and verse 17.
That's why these devils is hot. That's why now now it's a war on conspiracy theories. Yeah, it should be. It's supposed to be. Yahweh Shah said in John 15, they persecuted me, they're going to do you the same. If they hadn't listened to me, they would listen to you now. But because they didn't listen to me, they ain't going to listen to you now. Go ahead.
It's Luke 8:17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Right, man. It's nothing. Hey, the Lord says it's time, man. It's on the Lord's time. We on the Lord's time, man. It say 1 Ezra 4:35. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things. All the earth cried for the truth, and the heaven blessed it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. That's why I tell you when I was there, Wisdom of Solomon 1:14, she would not enter into a malicious soul. And Ecclesiastes chapter 6, it tell you that a person that had it, if he ain't right, she gonna leave him. It say, wine is wicked, the king is wicked. Who's in rulership? Right? It said the wine is wicked, which is what the philosophy of the world is wicked. The king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked.
You got to get into that whole parable. But you got
Go ahead,
that whole
go ahead,
parable.
go ahead. Huh? Let's get it. Don't worry, we got time.
Let's start at verse. Start at
Verse 6.
4. Oh, I was gonna get first Edges 4.
Okay, go ahead.
But you want?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Do what you do.
This is first Edges 4. Let's start at verse.
That whole chapter fire.
It is.
Yeah, I brought out that lesson a couple weeks ago. That chapter fire, bro.
Let's start at verse 25.
First Ezra chapter 4, verse 25. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father and mother. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and became servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred and shined, and sinned for women. And now do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Doeth not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him in pain, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Bardicus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head.
This is what a woman doing. Right. You got it.
And setting it upon her own head. She also stroked the king with her left hand.
Well, she took the crown and she slapped him. It's mine. Go ahead.
And yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth.
A silk nigga.
Right.
Don't worry about it, baby. That's you. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Right. Right. He was an old simp, man. Back in those days, if you were a king, it was a serious thing for a woman to take your crown off your head, put it on her head, and slap you. That's what? her head would be rolling quick.
Yeah, you got some jakes, but if they woman take their head off.
What you got? Supposed to be speak out of turn back then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was a certain order.
Hey, but that was his fault. That was his fault for setting her right next to him on the throne. The throne is for a king, man. Yeah. Hey, she's supposed to be standing up somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got it all.
Even back in the ancient one would have been through.
Oh, yeah. She was, and that was on him because he was starstruck on her beauty, man.
Right, that's what it is.
You know.
Yeah.
He was worried, and that corruption, and what does the scripture say? Set not thine eyes upon the beauty of women, because it'll pervert your judgment, man.
Yeah.
It says, and yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth.
Bro, some simp guy like, baby, yeah, you're so beautiful, you can do whatever to me. Go ahead.
If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if
laughed also.
Yeah, bro. This is a lame guy right here, man.
That's straight up square. What did the king do to Esther? That woman that was before Esther.
Oh yeah. Yeah, con.
it says, but if she took any displeasure at him, the king was faint to flatter, that she might be reconciled to him again. O ye men, How can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? Then the king and princes looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth. O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course, for he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things. All the earth called upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing.
Right.
Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works. And there is no truth in them, and their unrighteousness also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth, and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just.
And it says the truth is always strong.
Right.
Going into what the brother was going into, man, the truth is always going to prevail. It's a reason why this truth couldn't be hidden. It's a reason why the name of the Lord resurfaced on the earth. It's the reason why who the true Israelites are resurfaced on the earth. It's because the truth can't be hid for too long. It's too strong. It overpowers lies. It overpowers the shadows, man. It's only but so long you could tell somebody 2 + 2 is 65 before they realize it's 4.
Hey, we gotta get the count. You wanna go ahead and read it?
So you finished on that one?
No.
No, it might be a little bit more.
It says, to finish it out, it says, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works.
Right, come. Hey, that's why it's according to wisdom, man. Hey, the Lord gave you that high calling, man. And it's according to Yahweh Shema Shah's will, man. So you got it.
Read those last 2 verses again.
Yeah.
Because basically his counselors were saying, look, if you let this shit fly, niggas' wives gonna be beating them, bro.
Right.
If you getting beat up, if you wearing a crown and you getting beat, what you think gonna happen to us, man? You got it, huh?
First Ezra 4:38. As for the truth, it endureth, and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore.
Right.
With her there was no accepting of persons
Right.
or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works.
That's why I say in Wisdom of Solomon and in Ecclesiastes that she would not enter into a malicious soul, man. So get Esther 4, Esther chapter 1, start at 1.
What verse was that?
38 and 39.
Yeah.
38 and 39.
You said Esther 1 and 1?
Yep. Making the point about this king that had it, this chick took the crown and put it on her, meaning she made herself what? A queen. Right. Read that.
Esther 1 and 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 120 provinces, that in those days when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellency, of his excellent majesty, many days.
And this Xerxes they're talking about, you saw in the movie 300, go ahead.
Even 180 days. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan, the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace.
Man, that's a feast, man. 7 days for all the princes.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
They
go
ate
ahead.
good, too.
They ate good, man.
King's meat.
You got it.
Where were white, green, and blue hangings fastened with cords of fine linen and purple to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver upon a pavement of red and blue and white and black marble.
And that's a heathen, man. The beds was what? Gold and silver, man. Can you imagine the kingdom, man? Go ahead.
And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse one from another, and royal wine in abundance,
Man.
according to the state of the king.
It said royal wine. No suffices, nothing that's
Right.
good stuff. You got it.
And the drinking was according to the law, none did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Also,
Rulership, baby. You got it.
Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abagatha, Zethar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti, the queen, before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on.
Right. So the king, he sent forth his servants to go get his wife, you know, so he could bring him before his friends, his princes,
Okay, yeah, this still counts. Like,
and show them her beauty, you know, to show him that, because that was a thing back in the ancient world. You know, you wanted to show how beautiful your woman was amongst the heathens. That was a huge custom. You know, you got it.
Verse 12, but the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him.
You see, so now we're reading about this other king in 1 Ezra 4, when it said when she took the crown off his head and she struck him at the same time, and he said he gaped and gazed upon her. No, man. Go ahead.
Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was
Oh, if I may
Karshina.
say this, that also goes to show you that kings always kept men of understanding around them.
Right.
You know, men who understood law, men who understood judgment, men who
Yep.
understood times.
Yep.
You know?
Come, justice and judgment, man.
Right.
Hey, that's why. Yahweh in Psalm 89 and 14, it say justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne, and that's a king. Period. You got it. And these are heathens. How much more for the righteous, man?
Right.
You got it.
Verse 14, and the next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Mirez, Marshina, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to law?
And this what this man telling him about his wife.
yeah, yeah.
About his wife. Well, he said, hey, what y'all think? She won't come? What y'all think I should do? Because this is the wise counsel.
Right. Right.
Like, they gonna be there when she,
Gone.
they still gonna be here. Like, this how we got what we got.
Right.
Because of these men. You got it.
Because she hath not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains,
It said the commandment, she ain't performed the commandment of the king, man. Go on from here. You got it.
Yeah, verse 16, this is what it said right here.
You got it.
and Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
Hey, so even the low-level men, they women gonna be like, man, you saw what Vashti did?
Right.
With Xerxes?
Right.
They in a whole nother, they way,
Right.
we in the hood.
Right.
Man, what you, man.
Hey, what you say today? What Beyonce? If you ain't like it, then you should have put a ring on. You know, all the, hey, what I say, to the back, to the left.
Hey, I don't
Everything
need
you
no
on.
man. Bro, how these women going, and that's why the Lord say, hey, in Jeremiah 31:22, turn, O backsliding daughter. He was talking to the men. For I have committed a new thing in the earth, a woman shall come past a man. When it said, oh, backsliding daughter, he was talking to the men of Israel. So since you don't want to turn back to me, I'm going to make your women turn on you. And they going to go horn out the other gods. Yeah, you got it out. Go ahead.
So verse
Read that
17,
again.
verse 16 again. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
And he said he had 127 provinces. So the men way down there in Miami, or way over there in damn California, like, did you hear about what the king wife did? You getting letters from everybody like, man, this went down in the province of the king. Like, what? Like, we called the phone by the car, like, bro, let me tell you, you know, we're busy about this, man, let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Man, did you see what?
Vashti did?
Man, bro, somebody called you like, did you see what Trump wife did live on TV. You see what Biden wife did to him? Like she slapped him live on TV. Like what?
Yeah.
Like ain't it? You gotta watch the news. They keep replaying it.
That's gonna stir up the minds of the other women. You know?
Yeah.
Talk about Trump like didn't want to hold his hand up coming off the plane.
Yeah. But that's the talk. But you were getting through letters back then. You had a guy ride up on a horse through your city. They're like, man, this is special. They finna bring judgment through the city. What's going on? No, he could do the letters. Guess what happened in the province of the king? Go ahead, huh?
Verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes, when it shall be reported.
Right, hey, and through the spirit, hey, we trying to cut that energy off back then. We trying to cut it off now. Right. Okay? Go ahead, brother. Slide.
The king Ahasuerus, if I may add on to that, because I forgot who said it. I think it was one of the apostles went into how the Lord's putting that that manly spirit back on the earth, because Jacob's getting tired of these women. Jacob's getting tired of these women. You know?
Hey, I thought about that too. When the Lord said he was going to put the hooks in Ezekiel 38, he's going to put the hooks into the jaws of God, the big God, and turn them back to the old subject union war mentality. He's doing it to the men of Israel, man. It said, search out thy father in Job 8 and 8, man. We ain't have no emotionally feminine, weak, frail, feeble, simp men, man. Yep. Not one, man. You got it.
Verse 17 again. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes, when it shall be reported.
If I may say this, because men back in the ancient world understood that women can destroy you. Especially you got the wrong woman in your court, the wrong woman in your presence, that can destroy you. It destroyed Adam, man.
That's why I said in verse 4, are not women strong? Mm-hmm. If you put them in that, man, they gonna play a hell of a role, man.
Mm-hmm. And that women also translates to different philosophies too, man. Like goes into Proverbs the 7th chapter. You have strange women who will try to draw you away. Right. That also goes into those different philosophies and those different ideals outside of the truth, man.
Hey, with that Ecclesiastes 21, it say, teach not a woman a evil lesson against thee, man. The evil work against thee, man. You got it. Say something?
No, I was going to say, in the Apocrypha, it also said that men has run out of their wits for women.
Yeah, that's what we read earlier. Yeah. You got it, though. Go back to the...
It says, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered.
Right, and these are heathens that understood judgment.
Right.
Scripture saying in Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, since sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore it's set in the hearts of men to do evil, man.
Right.
So if they didn't nip that at the bud right then and there, they understood, all right, all the women going to adapt this mindset, and then we all going to be, in your case, being disrespected. So they came together in a wise council.
Hey, guess what? We're going to put every last one of them to death. Yeah. Let's not put all these women to death.
What he said on life, we ain't nice like boss men.
Yeah.
We're going to just put you away. We're going to put you away.
And if I may say, this is why a lot of times in the ancient world, judgment was publicized.
Right.
The scriptures talk about how to stop the spread of evil away from the water.
Right, because if you smite the simple, if you smite the scorner, the simple learn, man. Roughly paraphrase. You kill, you put to death somebody who's offending in the law, somebody that may have committed adultery. Other people who are thinking about that, they be like, damn, that nigga just got stoned.
We get caught, we through.
Right. You see that rock that just hit his temple?
Get that out your mind. Let's not even think that way. Let's go back. Don't even think that way. Period. Because somebody that's why the kingdom, boy, that spiritual power, well, you want to do something beyond. Go ahead, man.
Reading on, it says that Vashti came no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Better than she.
Yeah.
And when the king's decree, which he shall make, shall be.
And the Lord said that about this truth. You don't want to utilize what the Lord gave you, your talent. He gonna take it from you and give it to another man. He gonna give it to another man that's gonna stand in great boldness. You got this luck.
And when the king's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small.
127 provinces, man. The king had, man. Go ahead. Listen, it's only what, 50 provinces in America? He had 127.
I was going to say, like on a small level, imagine if Joe Biden put a decree that every man's wife had to reverence her husband.
Yeah. Man, Babylon will burn overnight.
Right. Overnight.
America will burn overnight,
And
man.
like you said, this is only 50 provinces. It's 127 provinces?
The first place they're gonna hit is the post office. All of them going down. Go ahead.
Verse 21.
They're gonna hit the Social Security bill ASAP.
ASAP.
It says, and the same pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan.
And what you get to see is you get to see king's counsel.
Yeah.
Because at that point he didn't have an answer. He had to ask them for the answer.
Right.
And they was able to break that down. Like, look, if you let that go, this is gonna have a trickle down effect. So you gotta let's put out a decree.
Nip it in the book.
Take care of it.
I got a precept for you. This is Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 6. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in the multitude of counselors there is safety.
Right.
I got one more for you. Proverbs 20 and 18.
Yep.
Every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war. And so by wise counsel, things are established, man.
Yep.
And that king had to seek out wise counsel. It's like the brother said, he didn't have the answer at ready. He didn't want to make a hasty decision, and end up not only destroying himself, but his kingdom. So he sought after that wise counsel. He sought out the other men of understanding, which is why, going back to the original point of the lesson, the body is important. Right. Because what we're doing by gathering together is seeking out other wise counsel from men of understanding. You may have other brothers who are experienced in whatever you're going through. So you're able to ask him, all right, how did you deal with this?
Right.
He's able to give you counsel. Okay, I did this, that, and the third, and this is how I overcame it. When kings get together, they bounce ideas off each other. They bounce experiences off each other, and they're sharpening the process. And that's exactly what was happening. They were bouncing ideas off. Hey, what would you do? How should I handle this matter? Well, listen, if you don't handle this matter, then the other 127 promises, that women are going to rise up and rebel too. So we want to nip this in the bud. Put it in the law. That women shouldn't act like this. And that's how that matter was established. It was wise counsel. Yeah.
Verse 22. Esther 1 and 22. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, into every province according to the writing thereof.
See, that's how we got news, through letters. We got it.
And to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
Hey,
Right.
Can you imagine somebody pulling up, telling you, hey, everybody meet at the city's
Town hall.
town hall, yeah. And they stand up on they get up on the podium and like, listen, they open up the scroll. This from the king. And every last one of you women that want to be disobedient, well, if it's a letter for the men. Every last one of you men, you're going to get put to death.
And that order was final. Yeah. That was a final order too.
Yeah, bro. That's coming from the king. All put their heads.
Right. Hey, and this
Hey,
is
man, go ahead. Hey, get real quick on the point. Get Numbers 25 and 1. The Lord, hey, and we talking about Yahweh, man.
right.
Bahashim Yahweh Shah, man. Forget Xerxes, man. Read that.
Numbers 25 and 1. And Israel abode in Shittim,
Right.
and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
Right.
And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods, and the people did eat and bowed down to their gods. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor,
Right.
and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel.
Right.
And the Lord said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun.
Tell you what,
The heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun,
go ahead.
that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel.
That was the point. Take their heads off. That's what the Lord said. Take their heads off, man. We ain't having that in Israel, man. That was the point, though, y'all.
And if I could say this, the reason why a king has people counseling around him because he's responsible for a lot of souls.
Right.
You know, you don't want to just go into battle any kind of way. You don't want to go in any kind of solution any kind of way. And even this is a small situation, but still it affects the lives of many. If I could read this, this is Hebrews chapter 13 and 17. Obey them that have rule over you and submit yourselves, for they watch over your souls,
Right.
as they must give an account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you.
And the elders and apostles are in charge of watching over many souls, man. That's why they've appointed officers, you know, captains, you know, judges, in order to help in that decision making. Just like the brother said, you know, when a king is deliberating on whether or not to go to war, it's lives at stake, man. You know, he got to consider: do we have enough material? Do we have enough resources? You know, are the men ready for this battle? You know, it's a lot of decisions. It's a lot of decisions that have to be made in the art of war. And a king needs counsel, like we read. It can't be contained within one man. You know, the king can't contain all attributes by himself. He has to have other counsels around him who are strong in the areas that he's weak.
Right. That's why the scriptures, Salaki, that's in Hebrews, that's why the scripture says, obey them that have rule over you. Listen, if you're an Israelite, who has rule over you, man? First of all, Yahweh Shemiah was shot.
Right.
Okay, and then the men he set up, which are the elders and apostles.
Right.
Okay, and then it says, submit yourselves. See, that's an order. Okay, and that's an order that Israel has a problem with because we are stiff-necked people.
Yeah.
Okay, by nature. All right.
Hey, if I might say this, and if you don't believe that the Lord deals with men, then you ain't reading the scriptures, man.
Right.
Because all throughout the Bible, the Lord has always dealt with men, and He's always established an order of men on the earth.
Right, brother.
So if you don't believe that, then you ain't reading the scriptures.
Right, brother.
You know?
Yeah. How you reading the letters of Jeremiah? You're reading the letters of Micah. Okay. The epistles of Paul. Right. Go ahead, brother.
You got it.
Yes. Read verse 4. 8 and 4.
Proverbs 8 and 4.
Right.
Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man.
Hold on. The Lord say his what is to the sons of men?
My voice is to the sons of man.
Voice is to the sons of men. Give verse 34.
Verse 34. Blessed is the man that heareth it. Salakia. Blessed is the man that heareth me,
Right?
watching daily at my gates,
Right?
waiting at the post of my doors.
And that man hearing what? He hearing the voice of the Lord, man. This is how the Lord established truth in the earth, man. Through men. That was the point of it. You got something? Go ahead.
It's Ezekiel chapter 34 and 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men.
Right.
And I am your power, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemiah Shai.
Right. And the Lord has called up a specific caliber of men in these latter days, man. You know, the scriptures pose a question in the book of Psalms 94 and 16. It says, who will stand for me against the evildoers? Who will rise for me against the workers of iniquity? Roughly paraphrasing. And that's a certain caliber of man that's going to rise, man. You know, just not speaking, the voice of the Lord is unto all men at this point, but only a select few are going to answer that call. Only a select few are going to move upon that voice, man. You know, you hear that trumpet, hey, it's time to go to war. Only a certain caliber of man is going to move to that trumpet. Only a certain caliber of man is going to move to prepare himself for the war. You gonna have other men that run to their house. Oh, baby, let's go get the kids. Let's get out of here. And you got other men that say, hey, let me get my sword. Let me go help these men. Let me go help the battle. And that's the caliber of man that the Lord is calling right here in these latter days, man.
Right.
Those who are going to prepare themselves for the battle.
And in Joshua, yeah, the Lord say, he said those men that went back, those 20,000, no, those 27,000, because it was 30. It was 30,000. 20 went back, and there was another 10. And after them 10, the Lord kept the 300. Right? And them other 7,000 went back with the other 20. Right? It said they was faint-hearted and fearful.
Right.
They was fearful and faint-hearted, man.
He said, if you're scared, then go home.
Go home.
Right.
27,000 men went home, man. No, 20,000 went home. The other seven that was there out of the
That-
10, they wanted to be comfortable. Yeah, but the 300 was like, we don't have no certain dwelling place.
Right.
We can't be comfortable. We at war.
I got the account. It's Judges 7 and 3. Now therefore go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart depart early from Mount Gilead, and there returned of the people 20 and 2,000, and there remained 10,000.
Right. So the Lord say, hey, look, if there's any fearful among you, go ahead and go home. And 22,000 left the battlefield right then and there. That's that's not good, man.
Nah, not good. Right. That fight or flight mentality kick in, man.
Right.
You can have all the armor on and all the swords and the shields. Okay, what are you made of?
Right.
And that ultimately comes from the spirit that the Lord has imparted in you, man. What do you really trust in at the end of the day? Do you trust in the power of the Lord, or do you trust in the might of the enemy, man? You know, that's why those 22,000 left, because they didn't put their trust in the Lord, man. They were fearful of the condition of the battle. You know, they heard that trumpet and it was like, hey, let's go ahead and go home.
Right. And that was the best bet. Because if you ain't got confidence in the Lord, you can't find confidence within yourself.
Tell you.
Because I tell you, when you go to battle, man, you don't understand. When you hear those horses, you hear that horn, that alarm. When you hear that coming, that's gonna put a fear inside of you, man. You're gonna be shaking and rattling. Listen, if you don't know fear unless you felt your spirit want to run and can't move.
Right.
You ever seen them cartoon characters? They're so scared, they legs doing like this, but they ain't going nowhere. I've been that afraid before. Okay?
I got one.
Hey,
So the Lord say, whoever is fearful and afraid, that's heavy, man. Like anything moves your fear, man.
yeah.
I got one of the second Ezra 14 to 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. That fearfulness. It's like the scriptures say, the Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear.
That feminine spirit.
Come.
Since you dare get 2 Timothy 1 and 7.
Hey, because this is a battle, man. You know, and back in the ancient world, you know, when you was going up in battle, when you was facing the battle, you had the ground rattling, man. When those horses were charging, the ground was rattling. And you had to stand your ground. And you had to be firm and confident that she was going to win. You had to be firm and confident in the Lord, man.
That's why I said Ephesians 6, put on the whole armor of the Lord, that you may be able to stand, man.
Right.
And have done all to stand.
Right.
Because a true warrior ain't one that's anxious for battle. You know, oh yeah, I love this. A true warrior is one that understands battle. He understands the art of war. He understands the mentality of men. He understands the mentality of the enemy and his own mentality. And he understands, he trusts in his power.
And that you fight for the king.
Right.
You ain't just out there fighting on you. You fight for the king.
Right. A purpose behind it.
Yeah.
And that requires a lot of experience too, right? Because it goes back when you think about 300, when the ground started shaking, one of the warriors said, "Earthquake," right? But what did Leonidas say? Battle stations, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we got to know the difference, man.
Yeah.
All right, and it's gonna take a certain spirit, man. Okay, the Heavenly Father's got to have that spirit on you, man. Or you through.
You got it, man.
If I may get this real quick, if I can find it. I think that's second Ezra 16.
40.
The water. Second Ezra 16 and
40 looking for.
yeah, that's it. The water. Second Ezra 16 and 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Right. Hey, get 2 Corinthians 14, 7. Let's get there.
Hey, it say, make you ready to thy battle. And before each battle, what does the king do? Or what does the chiefest warrior do? He gives that battle cry. You know, he gives that speech of encouragement. And that's exactly what's happening right now through the Spirit. That battle cry is happening. Hey, prepare you for the battle. You know, we got this. All right, we can overcome, we can endure. All right, we're more than conquerors. It's that battle cry happening right now. I like to liken it into that movie, The King. You know, because before they went into war, he gave a moving speech. You know, that moved the hearts of the warriors. He said, "You are England. You know, England is you. You know, fight for yourself, man. Fight for your kingdom."
Right.
And that's exactly what the Lord is telling us to do now, man. We are Jerusalem. We are Israel. And this is a part of fighting for that kingdom. This is part of fighting for our Lord's dominion.
Hey, because once you conquer this, now your kids get to live.
Oh yeah.
Now you get to have kids. Your lineage get to carry on, man. Go ahead.
Because if I may say, man, a lot of our forefathers, they knew who was on our side. They knew who was fighting for us.
Right.
You know, so that comes with a certain level of confidence and expectation, like the scriptures talk about. You know,
and
But,
experience.
Yeah, and that Samuel brother just said that the battle is the Lord's, man.
Right.
The battle is the Lord's.
all we gotta do is show
All you
up.
gotta do, I was just finna say, you gotta do is show up.
That Psalms 144, it says, the Lord teacheth my hands to war.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
that's not of your knowledge.
Right, man.
That's why the brother brought it out last sit down when he said, the scripture says, his knowledge is infinite.
Very good.
We're not going to have an understanding how we're going to get that power.
Right.
But it's coming.
But just know it's coming.
It's coming.
That's
But you gotta believe that though, man.
Right.
That's Psalms 18 when King David is going into, because it goes into how basically King David, when he did what he did, King David in Psalms 18, he's given the credit to Yahweh Shemel Shah.
Yeah.
He said the Lord teaches by hands to war, right? But 1 Corinthians 14 and 27 it says,
Seven.
verse 7, and even things without life-giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds, how shall it be known what is pipe or harp?
Right. And the Lord said that the distinction in the sound is supposed to be repent. Kingdom of heaven at hand. No person gonna be destroyed with missiles. The MOTB about to be made mandatory. That's the distinction in the sound, man. So read verse 8. Read the next verse, yeah.
For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound,
If the trumpet give an uncertain sound, go ahead.
who shall prepare himself to the battle?
So how you gonna go to the battle if you don't know what sound? What sound? Is that the sound for a feast? Or is that the sound for a battle? We don't know. They all sound the same. No, they don't sound the same. But to a 2/3 lane, they all sound the same. Read it again.
For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle?
Now get Ezekiel 7:14.
I got a definition of distinction.
Go ahead.
This is the definition, the Google definition of distinction, a difference or contrast between similar things or people.
Beautiful. And the Lord giving us, hey, it's a certain sound, man. You got it.
Can I read this
Go ahead.
second one?
Go ahead.
Second definition, excellence that sets someone or something apart from others.
Ooh, that's heavy.
I got one.
That's heavy. We got it out. That's cold.
Ezekiel 44 and 23, and they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
Hey, hold on.
Get it.
Get Leviticus 20 and 25. That's heavy. That's heavy, man. And the Lord gave us that high calling, man. He gave you the spirit to discern these things. You got it.
Leviticus 20 and 25, ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean, and ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean.
Now you see that? Now go back to Ezekiel 44 more time for me. Now you see how the Lord gave us a dietary law, right? What we should be eating, right? Well, the Lord gave us, He gave us commandments on everything else too. So read that again. That's fire, man.
Ezekiel 44 and 23, and they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane,
That's everything. Everything under the sun, man. You got it.
and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
Come on, man. That's everything, man. So you ain't say, Jake, I didn't know. I ain't know. I didn't hear it. Yeah, you heard it.
All right.
So Ezekiel 7:14.
Ezekiel 7:14, they have blown the trumpet, even to make already.
You see? Yahweh Shemama Shah set up the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the elder brothers. The what? To blow the trumpet. Read it again.
They have blown the trumpet, even to make already,
Right.
but none go up to the battle.
And that's 2/3. They don't want to go to the battle. Why? Because they fearful and faint-hearted, man. They fearful and afraid, man. You got it. Read it again. Start.
They have blown the trumpet, even to make already, but none go up to the battle.
Right?
For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof.
Hey, since you don't want to come to the battle, he said his wrath is upon all the multitude. Go ahead.
The sword is without,
Right?
and the pestilence and the famine within.
Right?
He that is in the field shall die with the sword,
Right?
and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him.
Hey, that's how about your mama shot, man.
All right.
Hey, get Joel 2:1. Because this is about blowing the trumpet, man. And call all you how about your mama shot for this, man. Because we could still be in the world bugged out, man. trying to hit the club, trying to party and smoke weed, man. The Lord got us here doing this. Lord willing, we endure, man. This is serious. I don't know if you out there, you saw the video was going, you saw what Redacted just put up today or yesterday. The MOTB is about to be made mandatory, man. And when that happens, it's gonna move, man.
Yeah, we're gonna move quick.
Famine gonna set in, man. Pestilence is gonna set in. The Lord said in Revelation 17 and 17, until the words of the Lord shall be fulfilled. Meaning what? Once the elect get sealed, everything gonna move, man. And man, that MOTB gotta happen. And it's about to happen. Go ahead, read that.
Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
It wasn't long. It's about to be destroyed. There's an alarm going off. You don't hear it? You're like, what you hearing? I hear an alarm going off in my ears. It's constantly ringing. You know that school bell? Yeah. I can hear it. Can you? Read it again.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Hey, all you gonna hear is get to your local bomb shelter. Find your local bomb shelter.
Yep.
Yeah, get to your local MOTB station. If you want, what did they say? Moving 2012. Hey, they only took $1 million to get on the ark. Those 3 ships they had, all the useless eaters, they had to die, man. Hey, the Lord ain't playing. You got it up.
This is Amos chapter 3 and 6. Right. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it? Surely the Lord will do nothing before he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets.
Right,
Verse 8, hit verse 8.
Come. The lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord power hath spoken, who can but prophesy?
Right, the lion has roared, man.
Yeah, man.
The lion being Yahweh shot, man. He's roared. Who cannot fear, man? Does this not put you in fear? You know, you can't but prophesy when you hear these words, man. When you hear how the Lord is coming back with that dreadful judgment, man, it should move you to fear, man. Like it says in 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. You know, by the fear of the Lord, we persuade men.
Right.
You know, we receive the fear of the Lord. We know the Lord to be a man of judgment, man, to be a man of war. And we've been made privy to his judgment on what's actually going on in the earth. Things ain't actually coincidence. The Lord putting niggas to death out here, man.
Hey, you know what's cold too? Going back to the law, right? They gotta pick up the sticks. So that put fear in everybody else. When you see somebody do something, and then you get called to a council like, hey, grab that stone. Like I just saw him up there, like, I gotta take part in this? Right. Yeah. Everybody come. You like, oh man. Like I just saw bro, like he was just chilling. Right. I ain't seen when he was picking up the stick. I saw him when he was just walking. Right. Maybe he was walking towards the stick, but I just saw him. Then they said, hey, everybody, grab a stone. Like, what we finna do? What's going on? Hit him. Like, hold on, no, who? Bro, right here?
It's probably somebody you knew, too.
Bro, yeah, of course. Bro, that put fear in you, bro.
That's such and such son, ain't it?
Yeah.
You know how Jake be talking.
Yeah. You gotta take part in that? Yeah, you got,
And there's no respect in judgment. Even though he might have been your cousin or he might have been your boy.
Right.
You had to be the first to, if he was a family member, you had to be the first.
Right.
To get
That's the feeling. The Lord like, man, look, like we here, so the point I want to make, right now, we understand when a person get put to death, right? Whether they get shot or they fall into the meat ground like the chick a couple years, 3 years ago. Chicken the plantation. Chicken the plantation fell into a meat grounder, man. So you're like, man, the Lord, like, what the angel just pushed all over in there. What you were doing in the meat ground anyway? Your man cousin. Yeah, like we understand, like when that happens, that's the Lord, man. But everybody don't feel like no, that's Satan. Or they said what? Or they was at the wrong place at the wrong time. No, they was at the right place at the right time, man. That's the Lord. Right. But nobody feels like that, man. When we see it on TV on the news, like, oh, 15 kids got burnt up on Christmas, sleep around the fire, run around the Christmas tree, caught on fire. Bro, I did a lesson a couple years ago. They said it was 2 boys. They slept by the Christmas tree because they was ready for Christmas morning for they. Yeah. The whole house burned down, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how eyes being opened in the matrix. Now we can see the numbers on what's actually going on, you know?
Right.
Because it's like in the world, you was like, damn, that's crazy. Satan is crazy.
And this make you walk on eggshells.
Now you understand that it's the Lord, and it can happen to you. You know, if you ain't walking right.
Man, I hope I make it to this dollar store.
Yeah.
I hope I make it, Lord, please.
You don't realize
We
how.
know what's going on.
Yeah, because you don't realize how dangerous cars are until you actually
Like it's a moving weapon, man.
bruh. And there's fools out here for real.
Right.
Especially when it start raining, they get extra food.
That's it.
And if I may say, because this is more scarier for those of us in the truth, because the Lord, He requires more of us.
Yeah.
We should know better.
But that's why those movies like the movie Final Destination, all them things that happen. Bro, that's real. That's the Lord. It happened, brother. Lord cold. It happened just like that, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got to think, when we heard the elders and apostles bringing out where his judgment, you know, the scripture says the Lord loveth judgment, right? And then, so we heard the elders and apostles, we heard the warnings, we had that understanding, right? Let me read this real quick. This is Habakkuk chapter 3 and 2. O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy.
Right.
And that's what we're seeking right now, because we know the Lord's about to roll out, man. That Revelation 13 and 16, okay? That Jabberwocky, all right? Y'all keep that same energy out here, man. You other camps out there, do 501(c)(3) charters, okay? You pastor pig feet, all right? Teaching unsound doctrine. Go ahead, Doc. It's a lot.
Most of them ain't even mentioned in the MOTB.
Right.
Hey, this is mainstream media, man. And they ain't even mentioning it.
That's part of that sure sound. You know, because in that sound of the trumpet, you're supposed to sound off everything.
Right.
You know, back in the ancient world, it was a sound for each occasion. There was a sound for a feast. There was a sound for celebration. There was a sound for war.
Right.
You know, right now the trumpet is being blown for war. All right, these elites have an evil scheme. All right, coming to the people, chiefly you Israelites, man. And their scheme is to either inject you with that digital all right, or kill you off, because you're of no use to them now. All right, they want to be the next gods on the earth, and they plan on doing so by way of their technology. And if you ain't willing to get down with that, they're gonna lay you down, man.
Right.
Whether you Israel or whether you their people, man, they're gonna lay you straight down. Right. And the only way out of this is through the power, the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah was shot. You know, and that's what we're telling you. And that's the part. That's the sure sound. All right, there is going to be a Jacob's trouble. The name of the Lord does exist, and it does matter. All right, the MOTB is nothing else but the chip. All right, that RFID radio frequency device. All right, famine is coming, pestilence is coming also, persecution is coming also. All right, and the Lord is coming also to deliver His elect. That's a part of the sure sound, man.
And if I can't say this is like spiritual Morse code, okay, for the elect. Because we're teaching out the same Bible that the world's teaching out of, but everybody's getting different understandings and different doctrines.
Because it was only revealed unto few. You know, it was only revealed unto that remnant. Just like the Lord spake in parables because He only wanted a few to understand. Likewise, the scriptures are written in a way that only the elect, the hopefully elect, Lord, we know that number, can understand, man. You know, can understand and comprehend these secrets. Because the Bible has been written in parabolic form. You know, it's a lot of dark sayings in this book, a lot of mysteries that have only been revealed unto the meek.
It's John 10 and 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me.
Right.
Going back to that voice, man. The Lord said in Proverbs 8, He said His voice is to the sons of men. The sons of men, the host elect. Everybody can't hear the voice, man. Hey, it's a special sound.
Right. And when you go into radios, you know, and the reason why you're able to tune in to different stations is because each station has a different frequency. You know, you got to tune into that frequency in order to gain access to that channel.
Right.
You know, and the channel of the Lord is only able to be accessed by few. It's a frequency. It's a different frequency that's going out right now by way of this truth being preached, man. You know, only a select few are able to tune into that frequency, man. The frequency of truth.
Right. And words do carry a frequency. Okay, vibrations. Okay, all that stuff is spiritual, man, from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai.
Everything got vibrations and frequencies, man.
Hey, that's why you're able to gain comfort when you hear the words of truth, man.
Right.
It gives you a feeling, man. You know that you get when you hear when you hear the words of prophecy. You hear an exhortation that was speaking to your soul. You know, it's you can feel it, man. The vibration of those words coming into your soul, you know, entering into your spirit, gives you that comforting feeling, man. It's because the vibrations of truth are always speaking to our spirits, man.
Right. The scriptures talk about the birth pains, the things we're coming into, okay, pertaining onto a woman. Well, what does a husband do? A husband comforts a woman when she's in pregnancy.
Right.
Right? Going through travail and pain.
Right.
Okay, she's going through what's that when she's dilating and she's going through those what's those contractions, right? She's all those things. And what is the husband that's supposed to do? Hey, listen, it'll be okay. Now she's not gonna stop going through those things, okay? But those words are comforting.
Confident word.
Right. Still got to go through the process.
And if I may say, because it's cold, because like the brother was saying, this truth, it has basically healing factors. And it just had me thinking, because like when you listen to certain tunes and frequencies, they actually have healing properties to them. They actually, if you have certain ailments, you listen to certain tunes, certain sounds, certain music, it'll actually heal you.
Right.
How much more the you know, because like the brother said, these words, they have vibrations to them.
Right.
That's cold.
If I can add on to that, because see, even Esau knows there's a certain megahertz that you can play. Right. And it's 342 megahertz or something of the sort. Okay, but at the end of the day, he has it down to a science. Okay, that he knows what to put in rap music, rock music. Okay, he knows what to put in soul music to get you going. Listen, what if you can catch a simp mile away? Why? Because he's listening to simp music. Okay, that's the vibration he's trying to push off. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna keep you. And then you see him in the car looking like a puppy dog because that's the vibration he's under.
Hey, there was a study done by this Moabite on our plants, and he put headphones on the plants, and some listen to rock music and some listen to classical, and I believe it was like flutes. And the ones that was listening to rock music, they grew at a slower pace, and they withered faster. Wow. But the ones that were listening to classical music, they actually grew, and they grew into their full fruit.
Bro, that's similar, Slaki. That's similar to where a scientist or maybe just an observer, they put rice, they got 2 bags of rice and put water inside of it. And then they put bad on one bag, and then they put good on one bag. And every day for like 2 weeks, they went by the rice and they said good words to the good bag, and they said bad words to the bad bag. And what happened is, over a process of time, that bad bag started growing mold faster, okay, than that good bag. And that's just the vibrations of words. Go ahead, brother. It's a lot.
There's Proverbs chapter 18 and 20. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
Right. Death and life is in the power of the tongue, man. You know, our mouths are very powerful. That's why when you're going through tribulation, it's important to speak life over yourself, man. You know, when you catch a hell, oh, I'm done, man. Oh, I'm finished. You sick. I'm not feeling good. I'm down. There's power in those words, man. You know, when you're going through things, it's important to speak life into yourself, because we have power within our vessels. The Lord gave us a certain amount of power within our daily walks, man, within our vessels. And a part of that power is in our tongue. These words of truth are just a showcase of that, man. You got some more on that?
I got another one. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
Right. Don't give your mind over to the heaviness that you're going through, man. And don't afflict yourself in your own counsel. Because by doing so, you're only destroying yourself. You know, you have to reinforce yourself positively. You know, you catch a hell, oh yeah, I'm gonna get over this, I'm gonna conquer this. You know, oh, I'm stronger than this. You know, oh, the Lord gonna catch me, oh, I'm gonna get through this. You know, I'm not sick, I'm healed through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You know, you have to constantly speak life into yourself, because those words hold vibrations. You can't destroy yourself in your own counsel, man. Hey, a prime example of how powerful words is the Lord. All the creation, Yahweh Shai is a product of his voice. Let it be done. Let there be light. The Lord sent out a certain vibration that created everything that we know today.
Verse 22, the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
Right, like the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. You notice when you're in a state of mind, when you're a better spirit, everything feels better to you. You know, not saying that we ain't gonna go through our days where we feel bad, but while we going through those days, it's important to constantly speak life into yourself. Constantly remember the good. You know, be optimistic instead of pessimistic. You know, don't look at the worst case in all the situations that you go through, man. You know, you're only going to destroy yourself by doing so. You're only adding stress onto yourself, and we already going through enough stress in itself. So why not think optimistically? Why not think about the good that the Lord is doing? You know, the good, what if? The good, hey, there's a good in each trial that we go through. You know?
To land back off what the brother was saying about power of the tongue, this is Proverbs 15:4. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness there is a breach in the spirit.
Right. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life. All right. If you have a wholesome tongue, you're gonna constantly grow. Your spirit is gonna constantly grow. But if you forsake that wholesome tongue, man, you're gonna destroy yourself, man.
That wholesome tongue come with, they tell you in, get Colossians 4, verse 5. Read that. That's talking about wisdom, man. Yeah.
The book of Colossians chapter 4, verse 5. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time.
Redeeming the time. That's where we at, man. What time we in? Time of judgment, man. War. MOTB being made mandatory, man. Go ahead.
Let your speech be always with grace,
Right?
seasoned with salt.
That's what wholesome tongue means. Seasoned with salt. Knowing how to speak. Knowing how to talk to people. Knowing how to break down. Knowing how to be quiet. Read it again.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 4, verse 6.
Hey, get that word wholesome too. You got it.
Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man.
Right. It's about growing, man. Building. They tell you in Galatians 6:1, you that are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, man. Yeah. Let me read it, matter of fact. You got the word wholesome? Yeah, I want you to get in blue letter and in blue.
I got a precept for you real quick.
You got it.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 40 and verse 20. Wine and music rejoice the heart, but the love of wisdom is above them both. The pipe and the psaltery make sweet melody, but a pleasant tongue is above them both.
Beautiful. A pleasant tongue. Hey, get what is that? Ecclesiastes. You said you got Ecclesiastes 7. When they say wisdom is a defense and money is a defense, but what wisdom is, it comes with something. You got it. I think it's verse 10.
This is Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
See? That's that wholesome tongue, man. It giveth life, which is what? Talking about the kingdom of heaven, man. You got it? Go ahead.
This is the definition of the word wholesome. Dictionary online. Wholesome. Conducive to or suggestive of good health and physical well-being.
See? This is spiritual, man. What y'all say? I esteem the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. Go ahead. That's what on there.
You got another one that say conducive to or promoting moral well-being.
Ooh, moral. Hey, what in Proverbs 11:3? It say integrity shall guide us, man. Hey, get it. Proverbs 11:3.
And integrity is priceless. It's something you're not going to find in this world.
Right.
You're going to find it amongst few. Because most men are not driven by integrity. In the ancient world, even many other nations were driven by integrity.
Right.
And
We just read about it.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, we just read about it when Xerxes and his men. They was heathen and they had integrity, man. Integrity. You guys read that precept real quick.
So Proverbs 11 and 3.
Yeah.
The integrity of the upright shall guide them,
Right?
but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
See, the integrity of the upright shall guide them, man. So read the definition again for wholesome.
The definition of wholesome. Conducive to or promoting moral well-being.
Right.
Conducive to or suggestive of good health and physical well-being.
You see? And that's the truth, man. What comes with the truth? Good health and well-being, man.
Right.
Now we get the one, see what they say in our blue letter.
Now, not all the time,
Right, it comes.
but that can keep you balanced.
Yeah, good.
That keep you balanced. That keep you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, good.
Sometimes you get a body shot.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You gotta.
That's that flesh fighting every day. Yeah.
This is
No way. Go ahead.
this is the Strong's definition lexicon of the word wholesome. Strong's H4832. Marpai says medicine.
Ooh.
All right, properly cured.
Hold on.
Literally, concretely, a medicine or a cure.
Ooh. Get Ecclesiastes 10 and 10. Get Matthew 9 and 12.
Deliverance.
Ooh, it said deliverance.
Yep.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
Healing from
Right.
wholesome.
Healing remedy. Oh, get
Sound.
Jeremiah. Get Jeremiah 30, 11 and 12. Read that first. Read that first.
This is Sirach 10 and verse 10.
No, I want to read Jeremiah 30, 11 and 12 first. Then we're going to read that.
Jeremiah 30, verse 11.
Yup.
It says,
Man, that's
For I am
cold, bro. Salaki, go ahead.
For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee.
Right,
Though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee,
right.
yet will I not make a full end of thee.
Go ahead.
But I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished.
What verse it was?
11.
Go ahead, read 12.
For thus saith the Lord, thy bruise is incurable,
Our bruise is incurable. Go ahead.
and thy wound is
Our
grievous.
wound is grievous. Go ahead.
There is none to plead thy cause,
Right,
that thou mayest be bound up,
right.
that thou hast no healing
We
medicine.
don't got no healing medicines, man. We need Yahweh Shalom Shah, man. So now read that in Matthew 9 and 12.
Matthew 9 and 12.
Yup.
But when Yahushua heard that, he said unto them, They that be whole need not a physician,
Right?
but they that are sick.
And we sick. We sick, man. Go ahead.
But go ye and learn what that meaneth.
Go with thee and learn what that means. So he said, he don't come to them as whole that say they don't, what these niggas saying? We don't need Yahweh. You can call the Lord anything. No. Read it one more time, Mark.
But when Yahushua heard that, he said unto them, They that be whole need not a physician,
Right?
but they that are sick. But go ye and learn what that meaneth.
And we all sick, man. We ain't whole. And these hey, the ones that don't need the Lord, that's the one that got that bag, man. They can go to the hospital, they can get the best medicines or whatever. They can get the best food, so they think. No, the Lord said he want us to be down here, lowly. He said our prayers are like a sweet savor to his nose, man. So read that with Ecclesiastes.
This is Ecclesiastes or Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 10.
Right?
The physician cutteth off a long disease.
Who is the physician? Yahushua just said, I came to them that are sick, man. We sick. Read again.
The physician cutteth off a long disease.
Right?
And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die.
And why this king today gotta die? Because they said that they the physicians. No, they forces of lives and physicians of no value. Get Job 13 and 4.
This is Job 13.
So now we dealing with the real physician. You got it?
But Job 13 and 4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value.
You see, these doctors today, what they do? They falsify everything, man. They falsify everything, man. They ain't physicians. They are liars. They are deceivers, man. You lie about the lies that you lied about. Because you liars. That's what they do. You got it, whatever y'all
I
got.
got a precept for you.
Yep.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 38. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him.
Beautiful.
for the uses which he may have of him.
Hey, who is that, man? That's how about Shema Shah, man. Everything that we need to deal, the Lord already gave it to us. Romans 15:4. The scriptures were written up 4 times ago for our learning. Guess what? We was missing some of it because they took the apocrypha away. Read that again.
Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which he may have of him. For the Lord hath created him, for of the most high cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king.
Hey, man, who is the right arm of Yahweh, man? Yeah, man. You got us more than that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, the skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration.
Come on, man. That's what we're doing. What we telling you? Yahweh's name is important, man. In Matthew 10:32, he said, Yahweh said, he that confess me before men, I will confess him before my Father. Come on, man. You got it up.
It says, the Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them.
Yeah, it is, man. And what does this nigga John D. Rockefeller do? He banned all the doctors that was using herbs, man. Yeah, he took over the Moderna and all these companies. Yeah, John Rockefeller, the oil mogul. And he banned everybody. Anybody tried to do something on the routes, he took their license away, stripped them, and now they're using chemicals with a little bit of herbs. Yeah.
You got it. This is Jeremiah chapter 15:17. I sat not in the assembly of the mockers, not rejoiced, nor rejoiced. I sat alone because of thy hand, for thou hast filled me with indignation. Why is my pain perpetual, and my wound incurable, which refuseth to be healed? Wilt thou be altogether unto me as a liar, and as waters that fail?
You don't got no truth. If you don't got this, you're gonna be left, man. Hey, give me Psalm 80:17. Hey, because Yahweh, man, he is the healing he is the healer, man.
I got one for you.
The only way we can get back to Yahweh is through Yahweh, man. You got it.
This is Isaiah 1:6.
Yep.
From the sole of the foot even unto the head there is no soundness in it.
There's no soundness, man. And we see that with 2/3. All they want to do is party and play, man. Get high and start all over again Monday. They downtown every weekend at the bars, getting drunk, getting high, because they miserable all week. And to start all back over Monday and do the same thing, man. I don't think the best thing Jake got is, well, I'm going to kill him with this outfit this weekend. That's all they got.
That's all most of these people got. Even these regular Edomites. It's the best they got too.
Right.
You got it.
So Isaiah, I'm going to start at verse 5. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint.
Right.
From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it,
Right.
but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores.
That's what we read in Jeremiah 30, man. The Lord said our bruise is incurable. Our wound is grievous. You yourself don't have no healing medicines. So we destroy it, man. As Elder Malcolm would say, if your house don't return, we are fucked, man.
Yeah.
You got it, go ahead.
I got one real quick. You got it all.
They have not been closed, neither bound up.
Right, meaning what? It said the wounds, they say they are putrefying sores. Meaning they can't be healed, man. It said, read that line again.
It says there is no soundness in it,
Right.
but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores.
Right.
They have not been closed, neither bound up.
They have not been closed, neither bound up. Meaning they can't be healed. Because Jake is freshly another sin on top of another one, and another one, over and over and over. They ain't repent for the one sin. Nah, I'm gonna go kill him with 6 sins tonight. I'm gonna get it back.
And neither
What
mollified.
Jake don't understand is that the Lord is bound by his word.
Right.
So the more that shit you do,
Man.
and how shot not covering it, it's got to get taken care of.
The
hard way.
It's heaping coals on your head, man. Like it tell you in Proverbs 25, it say, if the enemy is hungry, give him food. If he's thirsty, give him water.
Right.
It say, because you heaping coals on their head, then the Lord shall reward you. So what they doing when they add sin on top of sin is, they heaping coals on their head, man.
Right.
Man, I'm finna go to Red Lobster. I'm finna get this pallet with shrimp, crab, and it got lobster on it.